Oh, it's been some time. It's been some time. Welcome to the Thursday night takeover show, hosted by none other than E the Man, the Troubled Williams in the building. As always, we would like to extend much gratitude to the sponsor of the last show, which was Team Fatty, who decided that he would pay in euros. And euros on that day slightly beat the American dollar, which edged Fatty up to be the sponsor of the show. So shout out to Team Fatty. We appreciate you, brother. We thank you for your continued support. So shout out to everybody. But we back. I've been gone for a minute. Even in the lab working. And Weeze is back. Listen, I wasn't gonna be back. It's E fault. I was gonna chill. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing no show. I'm chilling. So only either man could get the show back rocking on a Thursday night. E, what's going on, bro? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, but first of all, what we're gonna do before we get started, shout out to B Love. We appreciate your love. Me and B Love have a newfound friendship. I love you, B Love. I appreciate you stopping by and checking us out tonight.
You know what's
But my
so
day's
crazy?
good,
I'm
my
the one
friend.
that brought B Love to these YouTube streets. Y'all can't have her. She's mine. I don't know why everybody trying to steal B Love from me.
I'm not trying to steal it. Hold on, let me be transparent. I am a married man. I ain't trying to steal nothing from you,
She
bro.
married too.
I just I was just telling you that I appreciate her conversation. We had a chance to have a conversation over on what was it, Nida's channel, and I like her transparency and her ability to be open. So shout out to that conversation.
Yeah. She's pretty down to earth too. She's pretty down to earth. So
I don't know what let's
I
see
got
what I
all the best.
did.
I got all the best people. I'm a very lucky person. I will admit to it. Now, what you done messed up on? You trying to do some technological stuff? Yeah, you gonna
Yeah,
cause trouble.
yeah, it was pretty bad, man. It was like you was like both of us was this little small stream, but I think I figured it out. How was your week, brother?
It's been actually crazy busy week. Man, one thing I can't stand is the corporate elites. They never leave people alone, man. They want more and more and more and more. And that's the only way business go up. That's the one thing you learn. They really, I actually have a weird view on inflation and corporate numbers. Like I literally think by them actually just increasing the cost of a product is how they get their profits to go up which by default raises inflation. Like, but if you just a little bit every single year, but it's really the same amount of money, but it
Mm-hmm.
shows, accounting wise that they're making more money, but they really not. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that right now.
Yeah, well, hey, on that note, I think a lot of people. Let's talk about because I think you did a whole show about the writer's strike, right? And what's going on in Hollywood.
Oh
All
yeah.
these, all these companies, Netflix raising it. Everybody's just they're like most of the time the corporate, the owner is not going to take the loss. They're going to pass it over to the customer, and the people. Why we got inflation? Why I remember back in the day, you can get a cheeseburger for 69 cents. Now that same cheeseburger cost me double, if not triple. It's because the more you want, the more money they got to charge their customer because they would never cut themselves out the deal ever.
Yeah, it's just not a sustainable business model if you really look at it. So I think Netflix is claiming that they're going to raise their rates after the actor strike is done, so they
Mm-hmm.
kind of know what to expect.
But we could blame it on the writers. Well, we have to do this because the writers want more money. They want more
I
equity.
really want to see what's in the contract. I really want to see what they gave into, because I'm seeing a lot of AI involved stuff going on behind the scenes and controlling one's image and things like that. And I'm seeing how these companies trying to get access to that. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out. Actually,
Yeah. Yeah, this is Invention Week Sunday. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about married folks, but they had a husband appreciation dinner. I know we don't talk about that over here. We only talk about the divorces that we get. But I had a chance to say shout out to my wife, Miss Pamela Williams. Her and her friends got us all together, gave us gifts, and it was just amazing. It was an amazing. So, if your wife ain't doing a husband appreciation dinner with the other women, you might need to tell her go book a session with my wife because she'll help you out with that.
Wait. Husband Appreciation Day, you gonna appreciate your wife? Is that what we doing?
No, Husband Appreciation Day was Sunday. They took we went out to eat. They gave us gifts. I'm just telling you what happened in my week. It was a very nice outing. I really appreciate it. We all had the same shirt on. I know some dudes might get mad if they had to wear the same shirts, but I just want to say shout out to the positive things going on in marriage because we won't talk about that enough before we get to talking about this next generation.
Is a very easy answer to that because most of the marriages that are succeeding are quiet. No one really know about, and the ones that's failing, we see in divorce filings. So that's the reason.
I agree. I think it just comes down to you gotta love on each other. When you just gotta love on each other, and I'm gonna leave it like that. So, but yeah, have I convinced you to get married yet? Are you getting close?
I don't need no convincing. It's not about convincing. Because I don't ever plan on being 60 years old. Talk about this, my girlfriend. Marriage is it's just a way of life. However, I will say this: depending on how things evolve over time, you never know. Because I'm not going to say it's going to become obsolete, but I think that the thing that's shaking everything up so much is really playing a major part on people. So it's really tough to say.
Well, we don't wait.
You put me on the payroll, I got to get married because you don't hang out with nobody besides people that's put on your payroll that's married. So,
but yeah,
money, I better get married.
I don't know. I think I feel like it's a safe place when I'm around married people. Now, no, like I said, don't get me wrong. I have really, I humbled myself. Aaron said, man, there's some good single people out here that can not really give you advice, but to give you some insight. So, Aaron, like I said, you changed my whole model. I had a whole bunch I ain't had no single friend, and now I consider you a friend.
I consider you a friend too, brother. I will tell you this. They have to be somebody that at least have a deeper understanding of things. They can't be a one-track mind individual. They got to be somebody that can see both sides of things. Otherwise, that is a very bad idea to be around. I talk to a lot of married people. I'm close with, so it's not. And the thing is, what I found that I do a lot is I convince women in particular to stay married. So by default, their husbands love me and they don't even know it because I reinforce just how lucky a lot of these women are to get these men. A lot of these women going without and they don't understand that. So I reinforce it a lot. So I'm an advocate and a huge supporter just by default. And this is the one thing that I think is so important, right? I always grew up this way. I was never the top guy, but my best friend, he was the top guy. Around the city, in the school, he was the guy, right? So one thing we taught that he taught me is that everybody get a chance. Everybody gonna get their turn. Everybody gonna shine. It's about consistency and what you can sustain when it's your turn. So my time always will come. I'm all about being a model of consistency. And I think that's what tends to separate people in the end. There are people that just cannot do it. I told I'm really, really known around like my group of friends as the ones that's always at work. He'll never take no day. He always at work. Where your vacation is? I prefer to be at work. Within the last 2 years, it's probably I've taken, because I've been allocating a lot of time even to YouTube and things like that. I've probably taken the most time in this 2-year span than I took off a decade prior to that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like now we're starting to see the other people around fall apart. They losing jobs, getting fired because it's hard to be consistent. So that's the fun part about life, because I know the journey is a long journey, and I'm just going to keep showing up day in and day out. We're going to see who's going to be the last to survive, because I believe that's how you stand out ultimately. Hold on. Is that my brother Grizz in the building? Shout out to the Grizz. Gang. Grizz is definitely the gang. He says, let Let me get this slight 10 in. This show so good I can't watch it for free. I'll be watching in the clouds. A lot of work to be done. Thanks for coming through with another 5-stream. Shout out to you, Grizz. I appreciate you for always supporting the show, always holding us down. We're going to keep working. We're going to keep working. The grind don't stop.
So, yeah, I appreciate that, Grizz. Definitely that. But before we left, we was talking a little bit about business, and I want to start this show just quick video. I kind of want to get your idea if you think that this is a good business opportunity or you think it's a bad business opportunity. So I want to share this video real quickly. I think you can see it, right? Do you think that this is small?
See it? Is that how small your screen is? Hold on. That is how small your screen is. Ain't that's a small screen.
My screen looks small. That's why I said it was looking small on my end.
It's not a big deal. Should be a little bit longer than that though. Somebody said remove yourself. Let me see how it looks. Okay, it looks a little bit better without us on there.
All right, cool. Let me just play it. So do you think this is a good business model or a bad business model?
Money ain't made in the past 10 days. These are my 30-pound machines. They can do up to 30 pounds of laundry in one load, and I charge $5. I've got 14 of these, so they don't usually get super full, but by the looks of it, it's been extremely busy lately.
I told you, get off of your phone right now. Get off of your Get out of my face.
Woo.
I want to let you remove it.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we can't do that. Show that. But that is hilarious. Shout out to Nigel. So actually, I think that's a phenomenal business. I know a couple people that own a couple laundromats. It's a good business. I think it depends on how updated your laundromat is. Obviously, location always matters, but I'm telling you, people need it. There are not enough people that have the amenities in their actual apartment that could ever take this one out of business. There are not enough people that trust other people to do their laundry just yet, and it's also not it's not a reasonable cost to have somebody pick up your laundry, clean it for you, and return it to you. It's not a reasonable cost for that yet. I think there's an opportunity there if you're able to match the consumer with the cost, but I just don't think the money is there just yet. There are some businesses that do that, but if we try to scale that, I don't think there's enough profit into that right now.
Well, he said something really important. I ain't gonna play the video. I'm just gonna let it go. He said something really important. He said majority of the people who use my big machines are people who have washer and dryers at home. So when it comes down to like washing your covers, washing some things like that, especially like me for my Airbnb, it makes sense for us to use the big dryer because we can do everything in one load or two loads based on colors. Most of the stuff in our Airbnb is white, so we do everything really on one load. It makes sense. I think in 10 days in that video, so he had a snap machine. He have the option to iron. I seen this in a different state. I was at, I think I was in Tennessee. I was in Tennessee, working in Tennessee, and I stopped by a laundromat, and the lady said, hey, for $2, we will iron all your clothes. Like, we'll iron $2 per pound or some crazy stuff like that. And they ironed all my clothes for like $2. So like it was like $5 in total. So I think it's a big industry. And imagine in 10 days being able to make about $20,000. He said he made about $20,000 with 35 machines.
Yeah. Real quick shout out to Peter the investor, my brother, holding it down for the water fund. People are asking about the cash flow on that. The cash flow, from what I know from talking to a lot of operators, can be really, really good. There are some people that don't run the business model well, but it's still a cash flow positive business, but the margins are not good because they don't operate the business effectively. So there are certain things you can do to kind of really get those margins favorably in your side. But a lot of people that have them, older people that just been in there a long time, they want to get out, but it's not an easy business to cash out because a lot of people don't have the capital to jump in at a lot of the times where they're ready to sell. But in my estimation, speaking to a lot of people that I know in that industry, it is a really, really good business. You can get a manager for it. You can have your wife manage it. You can put a lot of people in play. You can just be the manager. There's a lot of things that can be done. There's some requirements based upon the state that you're in that I know that a lot of people don't really think about. But yeah, I think you can make a lot of money in that business, especially. I'm not going to sit there and say passive income because everything takes work, but you can set up a system in place that makes a lot of sense for you. And this is a needs-based business. This is something that people can't just bypass. It is a needs-based business.
So, Peter, what I would do is say, for example, if I needed 30 machines, what I'm looking at machines is about 6,000 a pop. So we looked at it about 6,000 and we multiplied it by 30. It's roughly, if I did that right, 6,000 times 30. That's 180,000. I think what I would do if I was doing this business, first of all, what I would do is I would come in and I would try to buy half of my machines outright. I'll try to make sure I get some kind of insurance policy, and then I will finance the other half. So 15 will be outright. I will finance the other half. I kind of will try to pay it up. So even on $90,000, we might be looking at about $600-700 a month. And then they're doing, man, I know it depends on the location, especially if you're in the right location, you could be doing 40 grand a month.
Yeah, maintenance is not that high. It's not a very high maintenance thing. You really, like from what I talked about people, you really want the business to look clean. So you want a clean place. So you want to probably get there before everybody's there to clean it, make sure it looks good. And then at the end of the night, whatever the case is, whatever. And that's pretty much it. There's not usually not a lot of maintenance that's required. Obviously, the machines can be expensive, obviously. But outside of that, once you have a machine done, you haven't, I think from what I've understood, it's not heavy, intensive physical work for you to do once you put a system in place.
Yeah, and the people that actually get in problem, because I've really been looking at this because I really want a laundromat. The people who get in problem are the people who get caught up in leases. So which leasing makes sense. Like, so say for example, if I lease it for 2-3 years, just pay for the machine by small payments and then swap them out, in 5 years or whatever time the lease is up, right? But what I have learned, the old people who really make money is they own those machines and they'll keep those machines in there as long as they possibly can. They have their uncle. Mm-hmm. They'll have their uncle in there turning the wrench. They'll be fixing that thing. And you see, I don't know if y'all ever been, but in Georgia, we got these, the ones that look like they about to jump off the floor because some screws and stuff loose. So it all depends on how you look at it. And do you want to keep up with the Joneses? Because when it comes down to the wash machine, I don't think people saying, "Oh, I'm not going to use this one because it's old."
Yeah, you got this. There's some risks. Obviously, you can put an ATM in there, right? It's contingent upon what risk you're willing to take. You can put a vending machine in there as well. So there's a lot of other ways that you can generate some cash flow just by getting people into the establishment. And as we continue to get modernized, there's other things that possibly can be done as well. So even just like advertising wise. So but we're not going to get into that tonight. I mean,
yeah. But that's one thing I would like to do. I think one thing I would say too is that I think I would lease the building. I don't know if I would want to own that building outright, unless
it's all about the deal. It's all about the deal. You know what I mean? Like, because what if the owner operator owns a building already? You see what I'm saying? So you whatever the conversation that makes sense there. But I'm with you. Well, right now with these rates, it just depends. But it's all about the deal.
So when I say that is that, so I was talking to this one lady who owned one, and she said what almost put her out of business is putting a new roof on that building. Like, that is something that I don't want to have a problem with. And so that's kind of why I said, yes, if I got some building just sitting around, of course that's a cheaper option. But if I had the option to buy a building versus paying $1 million, because commercial property is going to cost you a lot of money, paying millions of dollars for a commercial property versus me just getting the lease, I think I would choose the lease. That's just my opinion. So
yeah, but that's not what. Yeah,
I said, but that's not what we came to talk about. I just wanted to talk about that little quick nugget before we actually get to what we're talking about. So I think we need to stop talking to Generation X, man. I think Generation X, we might be done with talking to them, and we need to move to the next generation. I'm sorry, not Generation X.
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Oh,
I've been so the reason I said Generation X, because I was over there last night talking to some Generation X guys, and I was thinking about it because they say, you know what, Aaron, let me get your take on this. This is the last president we need. The world is ending. The world is ending. Do you believe that the world is ending soon before the next election?
No. What? Wait, do I believe the world is no? What? No.
Yeah, so they were saying the world is ending, America about to get back, and America not gonna be no more. So that we're gonna see.
I can disprove it historically. Like I literally tell people all the time. I go back and watch. You can do it on YouTube. All the stock market crash and all the Great Depression documentaries. What they will tell you is everybody feels like it's coming to an end. The world is ending. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Every single time. It never fails. Every time. Just go back and study it. So I'm not listening to these old folk. They out here tripping. They don't know how to ride the electric scooter, so they struggling. So I can understand. I can see what's going on. Hey, Renee.
I do believe that it's our responsibility to talk to the next generation. And the next generation is Generation Alpha. So let me ask you a question. Do you believe us millennials, because I think you're a millennial, right? You're right in that millennium area, right? Do you believe the millenniums, because first of all, I think the millennials was the best generation since the baby boomers. That's just my opinion. We accomplished the most. But that's just my opinion, right? We may be in rich cool.
Zuckerberg, so that's a cheat right there.
So, but when we look back on it, right? So when we look back on it, do you believe that the millennials, because these are typically our kids, and we decide to have kids up into 2024, your kid's gonna be Generation Alpha if you don't have none within the next 12 months. So Generation Alpha is the 2009 to 2024. Do you believe like we owe them something?
Owe somebody. The world don't owe you nothing. And I am a cog in this world. I'm part of it. So nobody's owed anything. I believe we might have we might believe we have some level of obligation if we want to, but I don't think we owe anybody anything. But I think it is imperative for the good of society to continue to move forward that we at least attempt to right the ship and make things better for the upcoming generation. But I don't think we owe anybody anything.
Yeah, so you know what we're going to do is we're going to drop the link early because I want to have this conversation with some of the people in the chat. Please act like you got some common sense, because if you don't, Aaron don't got the controls. I do. We will kick you out. You will talk about me on your shirt, and it will be all bad. I'm just go ahead and give you the warning, first of all. But I think I think we do owe them something. Now, what we owe them can be something.
Whoa! Before you get there, my brother Grizz is in the building. He says they should have the right to housing, etc. If we have it, you should never move backwards. What do you mean by that, Grizz? You mean if you should leave them a house? Because I don't believe people should have a right to shelter. I disagree. It's this delusional world that we live in that we believe people have a right to shelter when we know we'll make false comparisons to other countries all the time. Oh, but Europe, they have better healthcare system. We ain't Europe, but we should. If we compare other countries, a lot of those people sleep outside. They don't have shelter. Don't have it. So I mean, I don't believe anybody's owed anything. You decide the future of your family and the outcomes of your generation by your failure or your success. Now they have an ability to basically bypass the failures of their fathers and grandfathers, but no, nobody ain't owed nothing, man. I don't believe in that because it's gonna get complicated because we're gonna get into the half and the have-nots, but what more do you give somebody if they're willing to do things that are people that are laying around that don't want to do anything? What are you going to give them? So I don't know.
Well, let me answer that so you can kind of get understanding why I'm we owe them something because they're under 18. The whole generation is under 18. The oldest of their generation is 13 at this point.
Nope.
So I believe, I know you might feel different. We owe them something up until they turn 18. And then once they become an adult, then it's their responsibility for themselves. Let me ask you this question. Do you believe that I owe my kids, because I have kids in this generation, do you think I owe them something?
No.
So I don't owe them to be a parent. I don't owe them none of those things.
I don't believe you. Listen, the way I think, I'm a little extreme in this sense, right? I don't believe you owe anybody anything. It's upon your right to decide if you want to do something that's selfless, right? Because children can be made and left alone. It really can happen. So I always tell people the truth of the matter is this: having children is a selfish thing to do. Caring for them is a selfless thing that we do, because there is literally, they are nothing but a liability the majority of their life under your wing. You got to protect them. They do things to put you at risk and your life in danger to protect them. They give you some joy, you could argue, but no, they're a huge liability. They cost way more than they can return financially. It's just, no, like, you don't owe anybody anything. I'm sorry, you don't. No.
What's up,
good evening, gentlemen?
How you doing today, sir?
All right, I'm good. What's the question?
I see your avatar, man. Look like you got a nice suit on in there. Look like you came to talk business.
This is calm Poppy Inside. So I'm gonna try to keep it cordial this evening.
So I think you're part of the millennials, right? You in that?
No, I was born in '91, I guess.
You're a millennial.
You're a millennial. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the question that I'm asking is, do you
say millennium? Ooh, that's Southern dialect, I tell you.
So
it's the Atlanta in him. You got to excuse that.
So do you believe that you owe Generation Alpha anything?
Oh, Generation Alpha? Holy, wait. What's Generation Alpha?
All right, let's go back for Granville. So Generation Alpha is from 2009 to 2024. These are the brand new teenagers. These are the ones who just turned 13. These are the new people that's going to take over after Generation Z. Generation Z ended in 2008, the end of 2008, 2009. So us now, because we talked all about Generation X, we talked about our parents, and we talked about our grandparents.
Yeah, we about to become the old heads.
We are becoming the old heads. I know a lot of people want to stay young, so I went on ahead and cut it off. I
don't know why, but Jesus Christ.
But no, the question I'm asking is, do you believe that we owe the old heads? I mean, do we owe them something to make sure that they're in a position to be successful?
No.
You say no.
No.
All right. Hey, Simon. All right, guess he left. All right, cool. No, so the key is what I'm saying is, I actually believe that we do. I believe that. Hey, Fatty, how you doing, Fatty? I actually think that we do. I think that's the problem. Every other generation, like Generation X, felt like they didn't owe the millennia anything, and then that's why they're kind of backstroking or backpedaling now, because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So, Fatty, you just come into the conversation. I got you. I'm gonna let you get in the air. Do you believe that since we're about to be the new OGs, do we owe Generation Alpha anything?
It's for me?
Yes, for you.
Most of us know. People that deserve to talk are competent people. It has nothing to do with age. If you are a competent 19-year-old, I'd rather listen from you than from a 61 long-winded talks for 30 minutes, doesn't say shit that I don't know already, which are most old ads around. I don't care about your age. I care about competence. If you are actually competent, I want to listen from you. If you're just babbling and talking about whatever you want to talk, I don't owe you shit. You're not my dad. You're not my grandma. You're not my grandpa. I don't care. I owe you basic level of respect. I don't value your word more than I value a peer of my age that actually knows what he's talking about. That's actually how we were led astray, or whatever the meaning is, by listening to people just because they are old and not because they are actually competent.
That makes sense. Hey, podcast, how you doing, brother?
What, guys?
What up, y'all?
What's up?
Hey, podcast. Can
So
you stop
podcast.
changing your name like P Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Daddy, whatever? Can you stop doing that? Thank you. I'm sorry, either man. I apologize.
You good? So, question podcast. I'm trying to get a baseline here. So, do you believe as we're getting older, now that we owe Generation Alpha anything? That's the next generation, people that's 13 and under.
Give me a second, man. Let me get on cam for this.
I got you.
Take your time, OG. Take your time, OG. Hold on. My brother Grizz came back. He doubled back. Gang. But he doubled back. He says, if you want my sponsor spot, Gore, go ahead and put 50 on it. When I come back, my name better still be up there. Yeah, because I think Gore was a sponsor of one show, and I think they stole it from him one time. Did my guy Gore Grimy?
I dare you, Gore. Dare you.
But no, I'm sorry, man. Let me say this. It might be the fact that I do not have children, but I just approach the world looking at it in a certain lens. And the Owen part is just so difficult for me. When you put an age cap on it, 0 to 18, I kind of can lean a little bit more into the understanding of kind of pushing it there, but I gotta work up to the just like Owen people. Like I gotta work up into that one.
Simon, can you take your knees off the frame of the camera, please? It makes me uncomfortable.
Yo, bro, you want to chill, bro?
What's up, Simon?
I never saw somebody with the knees on the frame of the camera. It's the first time I think.
Don't talk about my buddy, bro. Like, chill.
So I would tell you this, E-Man. The way I look at it, I think the only thing to be owed to those children, I guess, is by their parents until they get 18. They got to take care of them. That's the only thing they're owed. After that, basically, they should have taught you what you needed in life. Now it's time to bump your head or get under the wing of somebody you trust. Somebody you trust.
That's dangerous, bro.
To learn. How is that dangerous?
Because like what we do is we have this perspective where like we have children and wanna like go, okay, as soon as you're 18, get the fuck out of the house.
I didn't say that.
Simon, you been drinking again, bro?
I'm listening.
There was another question, Simon.
I know you've been drinking, bro.
Hey, Simon, let me tell you, man. Me and Aaron, well, not me and Aaron, let me say me. When we was talking about that Kendrick, we ain't gonna talk about it, but we want to say that I'm happy that you comfortable enough to go anywhere. Like you is nothing that's gonna stop you from being you. So keep being yourself. Hey, Sean, do you know Sean? Can you come up real quick? Are we good?
No. Sean just talked to me that he good. He good. He can't be on camera right now.
All right, Sean.
He's a real businessman. We understand that. Yeah.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, Sean. So I'm just trying to get a baseline before we start talking about this next generation. Do you believe that we owe Generation Alpha anything for the millennials? I'm not talking about the people that's Generation X. I'm not talking about the couple baby boomers.
That's a selfish question.
Well, you gotta let me get the question. You gotta let me get the question out before you call it selfish.
Okay.
So, do you believe that the millennials? I can't take responsibility for any other generation, but I'm saying my generation, and I don't know if you in that generation, Sean. Do we owe them something?
Selfish.
Simon, can you stop talking on your knee, please? That's not the phone.
Right.
Let the man finish his point, please. You're talking on your knee like that. You see the microphone. Don't do that.
Faye wants to be my bitch. Okay, cool.
We're not cussing. See, look, Simon, we have one rule. Hey, no cussing on Thursday nights to after the 2 hour mark.
You know, it ain't gonna happen. But hold on, real quick, let me shout out to Gore. Gore said, "That's my spot." Gore said, "That's my spot." He said, I am the sponsor of the show."
So no cussing, guys. No cussing. We want to keep it clean.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like it would be cool if like you let these people that come up on these platforms understand the rules and regulations. Do you get what I'm saying? Prior to them coming on, because we don't know. And
I got
it's
you.
not like
That's why I didn't kick you out. But I do want to get to the conversation, Simon. So I want to ask Sean.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So Sean, do you believe, as we go back, because I heard a lot of people from the millenniums generation blaming Generation X for what they couldn't do and what they didn't do and what they didn't teach us when we was kids. Now that we get a chance that we are going into what we're going to be the OGs, Sean, my question I'm asking, do you believe that we owe them anything?
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because it sounds like you're the only one on that side.
So I believe that when I listen to you and Aaron, y'all have lots of knowledge, insight, wisdom, experience, and things like that. So I say yes because you asked the question in a specific way, but I believe in general. Like for me, I am a visionary. My one true talent is that I can see opportunities in spaces where they don't currently exist, and also I can bring people together. Right. So those are my talents in real life. So for me, I believe if you're a creative person, an artist, a visionary, I think you have a duty to bring those things to life, to put those in the atmosphere, to bring those to society. And so I feel like if you have value that should be shared, I believe you have a duty to share it. And so for me, my life has been dedicated to community and to young kids, especially young Black boys. So my answer would be yes, because I believe in building community.
And I kind of agree with you, Sean. I feel like if you have the capacity, I understand that a lot of people don't have the capacity, the knowledge, or the wisdom to mentor young men. But I do think if we're going to contribute to the solution, I think we have to be willing to take on more than our four and no more. So do y'all guys disagree that that's not my problem?
Wait, one more point on what you just said. What y'all are doing right now, you and Aaron are teaching, bro. Y'all, even what y'all were just saying about the laundromat, things like that. Like this is business coaching. This is mentorship. This is teaching people. Even like Anton. Anton to me is a mindset coach above all else. I think that becomes, once you have that value, that skill, those traits, I believe that it becomes your duty. Now, if you have them, not everybody, but the people who have them and choose to do it, yes. Like you said, everybody's not qualified. Everybody's not the person that should do it, though.
That makes sense. What I want to do is I want to open it up. So I'm gonna go back to you, Simon. Do you believe that you owe someone something? Because I know you said that you was a lawyer, and you have really accomplished a lot of things in your lifestyle. Do you believe that you should be doing something with the youth, or you feel like they're not your problem?
Yo, I spent like about 15 years working with young people. I spent about 15 years dealing with them. I'm a teacher. I spent about 4 years like getting that qualification. Um, and at the end of the day, what it boils down to is when I go on these YouTube streets, y'all niggas don't want to hear about any of that shit. Not being unkind or anything. I'm just saying, like,
Nigga is considered a cuss word. We gotta let you go, Simon. I just think that this ain't chill conversation tonight. We will see you this Friday on Fight Club because we will. It's just no hard feelings, my friend. We love you, brother. All right, cool. No, we're not gonna have that tonight. So
first person to be voted off on Survivor Island.
All right, so no, let me play this video. Is this good advice, right? Can we say that this is good advice for the men of the alpha generation, right? Can y'all guys see that? No.
Let me adjust it real quick for you. Hold on.
Do you guys define alpha generation before we got here? Because I didn't watch that.
Yeah, so I think E said it was 2000 or something like that to 2016.
No, it's 2009 to 2024. This is the people that just hit 13. They just get it into their teen years, right? All right, so I'm gonna read this because I don't know if y'all can see it. If your wife making $500,000 a year, is it okay for you to be a stay-at-home person?
Absolutely.
Hold on, let me play the video because this is what I believe Aaron would be doing if his wife made.
On the island, 20,000 damn bitches going private. She makes
Take the sound. Take the sound.
It's muted, right?
No. Don't play the music.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Don't worry
This is what I think Aaron would be. This is what I think Aaron being mopping the floors, cleaning up. So is it
listen, E, I'm pulling the refrigerator back, getting my white gloves on, everything gonna be dust free. 500 racks a year, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm the help me. I'm the help me. Yep.
Is it okay? Hey, is it okay for us to say that men of the alpha generation should take on a new role or be open to do new roles if they're messing with high earning women? What do y'all men think about that? I guess everybody in agreement, huh?
Repeat the question, please.
Yeah. So is it okay to say that the men of the alpha generation, if they have women that's making $500,000 a year, should they take more of the supporting role to those women?
Yes.
Yes.
They should, but the result, unfortunately, is going to be the same because the woman is going to be resentful. It's not about like on practicality. That's actually what it should be. You should complement the other person's skill set. If they're making a ton of money, your skill set making money is not needed. The problem is that unfortunately, women resent these men that are co-pilots. Unfortunately, that's actually where it always goes left. So you should be that on a perfect world. On 2023, you shouldn't even engage in a relationship like that because you're probably going to be doomed. As long as you don't want like looking for a paycheck, you're probably going to get the same destination as everybody else. So I would just say pick another one.
I actually think that the women of the alpha generation is going to be different from every generation that we have seen before. I don't just like the men are different. I think the women are going to be willing to accept a lot more than the millenniums, the Generation Zs. I think that they have been taught something totally different. They're being taught something different. I think that they're going to be looking for men that can connect more with their feelings than with their bank account. Y'all think that's
about? You're talking about the TikTok generation, the fast consumption, can't stay on one place, have to scroll 70 posts before they actually fed up like generation. They are the ones that are going to be compassionate and they're going to understand and put themselves. Nope, they are worst. They are actually worst.
So Sherelle, you believe that Generation Alpha is going to be worse than Generation Z and the Millenniums?
No, I think they're gonna fix it. I think Alpha's gonna fix it. I think Z is the worst it's gonna get.
See, I see is that usually the generation before kind of learned something from the generation that, like, I believe a lot of stuff that we talk about with millennial women is because what they learned from Generation X, and they want to decide that they're going to be and do something different. You think alpha women is going to think the same way? So you think women are not changing, but men are?
I think the women are changing and the men are not.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, substantiate what that means. You think the women are changing, but the men are not? What do you mean by that?
I mean, the world was pretty much just it was set up for men to succeed because women couldn't compete with them, right? Women couldn't get educations, women couldn't work, women didn't have access to capital in the way that men had it. So now that women have done it, women are progressing, right? Women are like running up the race or whatever, and men are so conditioned to having the world just be theirs because they're men. You know what I'm saying? Just like, okay, I'm gonna benefit from being a man in a patriarchy society. But now you actually have to compete for these jobs. Not only that, a lot of times women have a leg up because women have been set back for so many years. There's more incentives for women now, right? So like women are like running with like a little scooter. So they're not even just running a race with y'all. They have like a little scooter. So the men who were underachieving, like the top men, they will always be the top men. But the average man, he really has to compete with women. And nine times it's not gonna just be a shoe and like he's just automatically gonna be smarter, faster, get the job done faster than a woman.
Does
The average man is the average
doesn't
man
that
is still
defeat your
like
All
point?
right, hold on 1 second, guys. Give me just 1 second. Hey, Mr. Walker, can you come up? Are you there?
Do the Kendrick can please, Mr. Walker? So we know
I
you're
know.
he's gone. He's
Yeah,
gone. He's not back there no more. I don't see him.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure. I never saw him before. All right, cool. Now go ahead. What was you going to say to that? Did I hide it? There you go.
I said something to Sherelle. Doesn't that actually contradict your point, Sherelle? Because you talk about patriarchy, but then you actually make a distinction between the top man and the bottom man. Nothing changed for the bottom man. Patriarchal society was made to put a small percentage of men on the top, and all the rest of the men have to fight for everything. Only for
But
40% of men in history reproduced. Most men have shitty jobs. Most men would die young, would go to war, would be on agriculture working for 16 hours. The society, like men in society, didn't change. The top men keep getting
but
everything they
listen,
want, and the bottom men still fighting for scraps. The woman actually
but
changed,
listen.
not the man.
No, but listen. Those men benefited from the patriarchal society because the women wasn't working at all or didn't have access to
How? No, they were working.
capital at all. So yeah, now that the women can run in the race just as much as them, and there's no restrictions on what women can do, it makes it even harder for the middle and the average men and the men at the bottom. It makes it
hold
even
on,
harder.
hold on, Patty. So you spoken to the change that exists with financially. You don't really believe men have changed emotionally?
Yeah, I think men are in their soft girl era. You know,
Ah, there we
men are
go.
becoming
So that's what I've been waiting to hear. I was gonna do a whole show on this.
men are definitely in their soft girl era. I know they keep coming out with like articles saying that they putting like hormones in the water and the food, making y'all sassy or whatever. But you know, men have definitely became more sassy. They are in their soft girl eras, and women are masculine as hell or whatever. It's like some type of reverse
Well,
thing happening.
then I just want to make sure. How do you identify a sassy man? What are some either
Just
characteristics?
men, like you know, just men who like they're in touch with their feminine side. Do you know what metrosexual is?
I do.
Is it the
Yeah, a
feminine
lot of
man?
men are
No,
a
hold
lot
on,
of
Patty. Let me walk.
a lot
Let me
not
walk.
feminine metro.
Mm. Now,
So men that
when you say in touch with your feminine side, what does that mean? Just to be clear.
I think that all humans possess feminine and masculine energy. It exists in both of us, right? And like men usually try to stick to the masculine side. I think men in the past. But these days men they cross the lines a little bit more.
And do you believe women cross the lines?
Yeah, I think women are masculine. I think men
Yeah.
are
She's already
feminine.
explained that. She said that they've kind of somewhat switched roles. Men are in their soft
Switching.
girl era. The thing is, what I've noticed is there's been a request from women for men to be more expressive emotionally. However, what has happened was men's emotions have been rejected and not accepted. So your request, the men have met that. All right, I'm willing to do it. The response is y'all on your soft girl era. Okay, y'all sassy. So the problem
Yeah,
y'all
that's
gonna
because women don't be knowing what they want, and they just be making decisions for all of us or whatever. I never think they cared about y'all expressing their emotions. I just think they wanted y'all to care about their emotions more. I never thought it was for y'all to be expressing y'all
Sherelle,
emotions and crying to them.
who do you think is more comfortable? Feminine man with masculine woman or masculine woman with feminine man? Who do you think actually is okay with she's the boss, it is what it is, happy wife, happy life, or woman that actually masculine getting feminine man next to them? Who is more uncomfortable with their situation, man or woman?
I think I think the women like the men that they can run around.
Mm.
So TJ, and let me get TJ in there. So TJ, what are you thinking so far about what we're talking about?
So y'all said, do we
Well,
think that the next generation is going to be worse or better?
yeah,
Right.
and do you believe that you owe them anything? Like, is it your responsibility to make sure that they're better than us?
Um. So I personally think because we are the ones that laid the society the way it is now, and those kids did not ask to be here, I think we owe it to them at least to give them the opportunity to learn and to understand. Now we can't make them do it, but I think they deserve an opportunity to learn because they didn't ask to be here. Now, do I think they're gonna be worse off? I think I agree with Sherelle as far as the financial, but when y'all ask the question, I'm thinking morally. I think morally they shot. I think it's curtains. Like I don't think there's gonna be no type of genuinity soon. Like I think everything just gonna be straight money, sex, and that's it. No sympathy, no empathy, nothing. That's what I think gonna happen.
So you don't think an autocorrect happens naturally?
No, I think that comes from examples being set and being taught the right thing. If you're not taught, I don't think you can't learn something that you ain't taught or that you don't experience and know better from.
I think that's wrong because
Shout
I
out
think
to TJ, he from New Orleans.
Ah,
Y'all know that.
you
so.
know.
Yeah,
You know?
I think the market has found ways to autocorrect. Period, and I think that we get to a point that we're really extreme. We're gonna see extreme men. We're gonna see the extreme versions of the women, and then we naturally go back into our natural state. You disagree with
Mm.
that?
I don't think so because we're in a position where we have something we never had before. We have social media now. So everything is even more a trend. So now everything's gonna be based off a trend. So if the trend is a trend can't be a trend if majority people ain't doing it. It's a trend. We don't get millions of views. Millions of views come from millions of people. Basically, what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just think it's gonna be. I mean, I don't think everybody gonna be immoral, but I think it's gonna be far more immortality than it used to be. Because if you look at it, it's gotten worse through time from a moral
No,
standpoint.
I don't think so.
No, actually, I think you're wrong. I
Yeah, I
think
think
people are more moral than ever. They're more orderly than ever. They're more willing to comply and be sheeps instead of being the rogue person. Because social media, like you said, amplifies trends. If the trend is be in line and get a job and retired after 50 years of work and all that, you know what people are going to do? Exactly that.
Yeah.
So I think the outliers before there were more possibility for outliers because people actually were the leader of a village. Is more like if I know that I'm the top dog on my village, I'm going to be have more propensity to be savage, to want to invade either man village to take the woman there and all that. But now that you're not the top dog because you turn on Instagram and either man is flying bitches out and sorry for the cursing and Aaron has a mansion and all that. Now you don't feel so emboldened to actually attack the next village because you know there are a lot of people that have more power, more means than you, so you kind of fall in line. My opinion might be wrong.
But this is my thing though. I think like even now, right? We know conscious people, smart people, we understand logic versus feelings. But I think generally we're losing and we got to think about it. I think with that we're thinking about us and the older guys. We learn and we talking about the kids, right? So if they don't have no guidance, they going with off social media showing. Social media ain't showing no how often you see Denzel on social media? How often you see examples of exemplary men doing good things and exemplary women doing good things? Even in the music, we have a lot of conscious
But
rap. We have a
TJ,
lot of. Go ahead.
I just want to tell you, TJ, we see it all the time. Your algorithm don't say it. Like I had a chance to, I literally had a chance to, I was watching my wife go through her TikTok, and all of her TikTok is all marriage stuff, different things like that into details. Like her algorithm says it feeds her something different. I think technologies just have been so smart that the algorithm actually feeds you what you want to see.
Right.
And that's why you might not see no positive things, because that's not what your algorithm is telling the things that you desire. You disagree with that?
Hey, how
Well,
my mic
I'm
sound,
looking
Aaron?
at it from the kids' perspective. Like I get what I got a lot of positive stuff on
turn up a
mine.
little bit.
What'd you say?
He was telling podcast turn up his mic a little bit. Go ahead, TJ.
Yeah, so I have positive things on my feed, but what's the chances of a 13, 14, 15-year-old looking at what we look at? I don't think the majority of kids are looking at the positive. So their algorithm, I don't think gonna look nothing like ours.
Well, I think the parents should control your kid's algorithm.
But that's the problem.
I think so. Like, for example, I think you should have restrictions. Your kids should not be able to be on their phone. Technology actually made it easier now to monitor your kids. For example, I have an iPhone. You know, us Apple users, we can restrict screen times. I can say, hey, through my phone, I can say, hey, this they only have an hour on Instagram, 30 minutes on this. Like, I have so much more power. I think so many people are not using the power that technology have gave us for restrictions.
That's a fact.
Why are you talking like Android users don't have that? Why are you being snobbish?
I don't know. I haven't had
an Android. Apple users have this feature.
So let me ask you a question.
I haven't had an Android in 15 years. So
let me real quick get to the super chats, and we'll get right back to you, TJ. T.O.'s in the building says it was for the family. Well, do women see family including a man to take care of? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
T.O. says women running a race by themselves away from family. Now, T.O., I'm going to disagree with one caveat. Their dogs are family. MC, I think the rebellious ones will be better, but the rest will just fall in line with the degeneracy. I'm a D-Generation X member. Okay. B.O.B. says Fatty be looking like LL no pay. That's actually relatively funny. Not gonna lie. Just relative.
Right.
So
go ahead, TJ.
Go ahead, D.
So do y'all think, all right, so in which ways do you think the next generation is improving? Because like you just said, mothers not even including fathers. I mean, they never did, but now we in the social media era. Look what they teaching our little girls. Look what they teaching our daughters. You know what I'm saying? And look what the rap game is teaching our young sons. They're not teaching family. They're not teaching love. They're not teaching respect and none of that.
Yeah.
I think it's all about perspective, because my kids only see family. Their whole perspective, like their whole perspective, we are family and we hang around other family. They have friends that are married. Like you can call it brainwashing, but what we have did is we have created a cocoon around our kids that they only see one thing. Now, when they go to college, are they going to see the world and what it is? Yes, but we want to paint the picture and not let the world paint the picture.
Well,
you know what? What bothers me? Go ahead, Aaron.
I'll be quick. It's really environment and peer group, right? A lot of scientists say it's the environment in their peer group, which will outdo what actually parents actually do. But parents take a lot of credit for a lot of things. The peer group and the environment are the most important. The thing that somewhat the parents have control of is somewhat the environment. So if you're the smart thing parents need to do is this: you need to be more involved than you ever have if you want the best outcome for your kid, and that means putting your kids in place to pick the peer group that you put them around. You can't pick for them, but you got to put them in a place where they pick their peer group, and you by like you kind of manip the peer group for them to pick from, and that's how you'll have a more effective way. But that's getting to some extreme measures there, because do we really have that much time to allocate to the raising of our children?
Yeah,
That's assuming they have a good
have
parent
we
too.
been doing that for a while? Put kids on sports so they don't be gang banging, putting them on music and arts and private schools. We've been doing that. Like
Yeah.
for most men,
But the
that's actually
thing,
what saves them is putting them on a group where they actually are motivated and distracted, and they don't have to stay on the street for like 7 hours hanging
Yep.
with the folks.
And
That's
I'm a
normal.
you
basketball
know the
trainer, so
thing,
I know how that
Everybody's,
goes.
yeah.
you know
My
the
bad,
thing
Billy.
that trips me out. No problem, bro. You know the thing that trips me out though, right? Is that, and this ain't a shot at either man, but
Yes,
people
it
in
is.
people in his situation, right? So the way he's explaining it right now says, well, I understand that my wife, my kids, they get this visual because that's the way we have it set up. And that's why they're, totally Star Spangled awesome. So then why do we then also act surprised when we see the results of people who don't get that environment? Who
I
don't
don't think
have only
Exactly.
family stuff presented to them, who
Right.
don't have security and preferential measures put in place to make sure that their visual is optimized by Shangri-La and utopias of family and ginger snaps and shit like that. I'm not making fun of it, but I'm just saying we act like we don't get it, right? When we see these people who don't have that mindset or that behavior. When we look at the generation now, the generation that you're talking about, right? So when we say, do we owe them anything? Well, here's the thing. If you see them messed up, yeah, you do. Right? That's the point, is because you understand that they didn't have what you had. So because you're going to spend your time judging them anyway, then you might as well also be responsible. You should take some responsibility for the ones that you come in contact with. Nobody's saying you got to run out and save the world, but just as sure as you stand and point your finger in judgment, make sure you also able to offer some of that stuff that you know they didn't get based on their outcome.
Yeah, so I don't disagree with what you're saying, because I believe that every man that's capable of mentoring a young boy, not just young boys in their family, they should. That's something that I do. I have taken people that was in single homes and mentored them throughout college, throughout their things, just so they can have a father-like figure. I know that's frowned upon in this area. Oh, you shouldn't be doing all that, but that's something that I chose to do with my life. But I want to play this video because I think that what I want to do is, I believe that what we need to start doing is we need to start renegotiating what contracts look like, especially if we start talking about should they get married. So before we play this video, do you think that the alpha generation should be aspiring to get married? I want to start with Fatty.
No, they should aspire to do whatever they actually want to accomplish. We have this conversation all the time. Not everybody is meant to be married. Not everybody is meant to be kids. Telling them that they should be aspiring to be married is literally contradicting that point where there's a lot of incompetent dads, there's a lot of incompetent moms, there's a lot of people that shouldn't be together at all. They can't even hang around with their friends without being mad with them for 5 days. They should actually not have a spouse because that doesn't work. So no, the alpha generation will have actually the same challenges as we have. I am afraid that instead of just being a lake being poisoned, and we talk about the West is spreading now. So there will not be small pockets that we have. Oh, go to a third world country, go to a developing nation. By the time that they are grown, you're probably going to have a full contamination, and now you are going not to, you don't know where actually to go get fresh water. You're probably going to have to drink water that is unfortunately is contaminated.
So Sean, let me get Sean in there before we get podcast in there. So hey Sean, do you believe
What's up?
if we had to give advice to the next generation, which is Generation Alpha, do you believe that we, first of all, Sean, should we be aspiring them to get married and put family first, or do you feel like that is a thing of the past?
That's a hard question. I can't lie. That's a hard question. Um, I I can't really answer that question.
All
I
right, let
don't
me
know.
play this. Let me play this video.
Before you play that, I want to get to Mr. Black Sheep. He says, I think the alpha generation might be lost in the focus. Some be more on the generation after. Whoa. Wow. So we ain't even really got the alpha generation in play, and you still want to go to a generation after that. That's amazing. To answer your question quickly, Edith, man, before we go to video, I think two things are going to actually be impactful. One, if we solve this problem without the nuclear family, we will effectively remove the nuclear family. So we either have to solve it with the nuclear family or we fix it without it. And if we do, it won't be going back to it. You see what I'm saying? I think that's ultimately where it's coming down to.
All right, so this is what I'm going to ask you guys, right? What if we came to a mutual agreement? I'm going to play this video. And what if marriage kind of looked at like this? Do you think most people say this was the law, this is what it was? I want to play this video really quickly. And I want you guys to tell me, give me 1 second. I want you to tell me if this was something you was able to do before marriage, would you be open to it?
Met my wife. I told her, I'm going to make millions of dollars. I'm going to make a lot of money. We had our first date on September 5th, and then we were engaged December 22nd. In the Jewish community, when you get married, you sign a marital document that basically looks kind of like a prenup called the ketubah. And one of the things in there is like an actual breakup fee. If the marriage breaks up, then how much money do you owe to your wife? So my father-in-law sits me down one day and he's like, how much money do you want to put in the ketubah? And I was like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. We're not getting divorced, so put $10 million. I don't care. And he looks at me and he starts laughing. He goes, she's not worth $10 million. We'll put $1 million. And I frequently remind him that he is a horrible negotiator.
Is it always the guy?
So let me ask you this question. If before marriage, right? Before you get married, you can say, hey, if we break up, I owe you X amount of dollars, right? Say this was the law. And they said, if we break up, I give you 20,000. I give you 100,000. And we agree upon a number that could not be disputed in court. Do you think that more people will be open to getting married?
Absolutely. If they knew their destiny, now I know what I signed for.
Yeah. You give me a hard line number. I'm going for it.
Yeah, if you give me a hard number.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a guarantee. Like, if this don't work out, this is what I know I'm going to have to pay. That's something I can live with, that I can agree to.
And now it's our responsibility to make it work because we know actually what happens. But if you define 50-50 custody and a set number, I believe that most men will say, hey, man, if this is the default, Let's go with it. And then if you actually, I work too much, he needs to stay more with the kid, I'm willing to pay a little bit more and all that, I think most men actually will be compelled to marry because they know their destiny. But the way that it is, Aaron has a destiny, I go to the same judge, I get the opposite, and then podcast goes, and that's what actually men are a little afraid of. So I actually believe that will be a good thing.
All right, give me 1 second. Hey, Black Sheep, are you there? All right, perfect.
What's up?
I see it. You can see it. Can you hear us, Black Sheep?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him.
All right. So yeah, so
white boy.
So I think
King?
All right, so yeah, I think what it comes down to is that we need to be able to. I think men are looking for insurance in marriages nowadays. Not that they don't want to be married. And I believe, like, if we put documents now, say for example, let me ask you this question, Fatty, because you said you think that is a positive thing, right? So say for example, you in a situation and you put $100,000 that you was going to give this woman, right? And y'all separate, you only got $23,000, right? Mm-hmm. You give it at $23,000. What's that? Roughly 67,000. Do you believe that you still be responsible to pay that $67,000 over the next?
If the deal is I have to pay $100,000, that's the deal that it is. I signed it. I have the responsibility to take it, and that's the thing. Most men are going to be sensible about whatever their whatever their earning potential is, and they are going to. Most men are not going to give a stupid number. Ben Shapiro actually gave that because he's a multi-millionaire. $10 million for him is nothing. 1 million is nothing. So, but for the average man, I think they are going to get to a fair agreement. I don't know, Aaron, do you want to jump in?
Well, no, I'm agreeing with you. Why? Because Ben Shapiro, if people don't know who he is, it makes sense why
he probably get that shit in
I
3 months.
I just think we leave a bunch of factors out here that we don't acknowledge, in that no matter what we want to say, humans are humans, culturally, it matters. There is a huge difference there. The way we operate, the way we walk, we talk, our energy is vastly different. It is clear amongst women how they experience different men from different cultures and backgrounds. Energy is different. And so I don't think that's actually going to work at all, actually, because we're moving to a place where you have to be honest with yourself. So why do only I have to put the risk of $100,000? That don't make no sense when she make $700,000. You know, like I think making it and don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm not fine with it. I'm just being objective about it. I don't think it sits well with the younger generation because the way they're growing up, because the way we got it was, you treat women this, that, they're equal to and then you get older and go, bad idea. Now we got to readjust. They're already accelerated at that rate. So no, I don't think it would work with the younger generation at all.
I think more people will stay married longer, right? I think some people knew that, hey, especially if you got a man that, say you have a man that's making a lot of money, kind of like the gentleman that was
you're wrong.
You know what's crazy is that people, for whatever reason,
I heard the Sexy Voice podcast. Get the old microphone.
I'm not. Listen, hey, this was so crazy. What's up, Sean? Chi-Town shit. Look, I heard that Tyree song today for the first time, right? And in the song, he's questioning, when did love become a transaction, right? Nobody's gonna be comfortable with this idea. I don't see that happening. The whole thing about marriage and relationships and family and all of that was it's supposed to be this organic thing. It wasn't supposed to be connected to transactions and all this other stuff. At least that's how it was sold on at least a generation or two.
It was always transactional.
But I'm saying
it was
that's
always
why,
like a business.
That's literally why I just said. What did I just say?
I know.
Y'all, you're responding late. I literally just said at least that's how it was sold on a generation or two, right? So that's my whole point. That's why he can make a song, when did love become transactional, right? Because that wasn't the idea, right? We heard all the R&B songs. We saw all the Disney movies. It wasn't right? So
I'm not saying podcast that we wasn't like people wasn't tricking, Disney wasn't wrong. I'm saying that they was wrong. They have always been a transactional.
Got you. That's right. You're saying marriage, right? But that's the point, is that you're talking about marriage. So I'm saying the idea of it is sinking, bro. Like, no, the question you asked earlier before you played the video was, should we be trying to motivate this new generation coming up to be married? The answer is hecky no, right? Or hell no, to say it in an adult way, right? Like, no, because at the end of the day, it's not actually beneficial. It's not.
Go ahead, Patty.
So we are having two different conversations, right? First conversation: will men be more inclined to marry? Absolutely. Now they know their destiny. They are more okay with actually doing so. Is that going to put the marriage together and make people stick together? Absolutely not, because now women know exactly what they're going to get. You know the getaway plan and the stash money and all that shit. If a woman knows she has $55,000 ready if she leaves, you know what she's going to do? Boop! She's going to click the button and she's going to bounce, because now she knows for a fact that she can get wrong. Listen. But that's the thing. Women been playing this game. They will divorce a man, get child support and the house from the guy, and they marry podcast. And now podcast is on that house, is additional income, and now they have a family and is okay. So what is going to happen is they're going to click the button, they're going to leave me. They know they get the getaway plan, the 50,000 something, and nothing actually stops them for getting another man tomorrow, getting the additional income, the additional protection, the additional house, and now go move on. That actually is going to incentivize women to leave.
Let's use that example. So imagine he's worth $200 million, right? I think, all right. If she only get $1 million, if she leave this man, she only gonna get $1 million, right? Now women will actually take a loss. They would say, "Hey, check this out. I'm going to lose a $200 million lifestyle for
Not
$1 million."
I got
Wouldn't they
you
be
saying,
taking
but
a
Boy,
loss
this
anyway?
guy.
one second, guys, just for
Wouldn't
clarification.
they be
Ben
taking a loss anyway?
Shapiro is worth $65 million, and he probably, when he's 50, probably is worth $200 million. His deal is nothing. He gets this money by year by year. He's like one of the biggest Republican pundits, or right, like the conservative pundits.
See-
So the real number will never be in the man. We have to be honest, right? The real number will never be 1 million. The real number probably will be way above that.
I get it, but I stated
It
that
doesn't
they
matter if it
had
was,
to.
though.
No, listen. I stated that they had to enforce the contract as it was written, right? So the point that I'm saying is that I think more women would look at it as a loss to only get $1 million versus the chance of getting access to six. Because the agreement, remember, Fatty, this agreement is before marriage. So this was before that $1 million was when he was broke. He didn't have any money.
So either man, what we do is you usually get a small sample size and you extrapolate to the population. For the rich people and for the hyper successful is exactly what you say. People are not going to take a loss. They're going to stay to keep their lifestyle. For 90% of population that will never see $1 million in their life, that is struggling in his paycheck to paycheck working, now you actually are incentivizing that person to leave because they will get more money in a lump sum than they ever probably had on their bank account to spend. That's the general
That
public.
money, bro.
See, I don't think
that's
he
the-
understands
that's the
how
non-part.
autonomy works, right?
Yeah.
Like
So
that's
look,
the whole point. Is that the thing that I don't think that you guys really want to accept as it pertains to women is that independence to them means more than love at this point.
Yeah.
It just does, right? To not be controlled. Okay, but you got to show all of your guests the same amount of respect. You can't play favoritism either, man, right?
No, I'm not playing favoritism.
Okay, so let me land. It's not being disrespectful.
I've been letting you land. Like,
No,
so
you
look, podcast. Now we're at the part of the conversation that we got everybody stands, and it's a conversation back and forth.
Okay, so let me land.
Go ahead, finish.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is, is that like honestly, right? Let's say I got this job, and this job is paying me $1 million a year. Well, I could stay with this job for 30 years, and I end up with $30 million. But the job say, look, I give you $2 million right now to get on. I'm out of here. What you talking about? I don't have to commit another 29 years to this job, and I can go do what I want to do regardless. Like, and because right now I'm pretty sure you considering the kids and all that. You saying live a $200 million lifestyle. Here's the thing about it, Edie, man. They don't get to live a $200 million lifestyle because they don't get to dictate it. They don't get to make any choices. They don't get to make any demands. When you're in that kind of position, you're pretty much dependent on this other person to consider you, to make sure that your needs and wants are met. Versus when I have this money myself and I can go meet my needs and wants myself, i.e., Jeff Bezos' ex-wife.
So
you think? Wait, hold on a minute. Let me ask you. Before you answer this question, I'm landing. I want to ask you a question. Do you think she's happier now than she was when she was with him?
I think she was happier with him than she is now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, but hold on. So, but I wanted you to make that point, but I wanted to go back to Fatty point. Then I want to address your point, right? Mm-hmm. So, Fatty, if a person the most he make is $60,000, he ain't gonna put $100,000 in that contract. He gonna say, "You leave me, you get $5,000. You leave me." No, I'm telling you.
Okay, cool. Let's play that out.
That's not realistic. You know that's
it don't matter. Let's play it out though.
Let's play it with the 5,000. Yeah, but that's nothing. That's literally you saying is robbery at this point. I put a kid on you. I put everything on you. 5,000. Here we go, and I leave. That's actually
12,000 would be more realistic. That's 20%.
No, 20,000.
12,000. That's 20%. Let's go with that. 12.
Let's just paint the picture.
Right? I'm sorry. Go do your example.
So I don't think somebody who say, "Man, I'm only gonna make 60,000," because it's some people out there that know they ain't gonna make no more than 60,000. I don't think in a contract these people are gonna say, "Hey, 60,000. Let me write down that I'm gonna give this person $100,000, 2 years of my income." It's going to be in perspective. And I think the perspective is going to be, hey, man, I'm making about 60,000. I'm going to give her like 10. I can say $15,000. She's going to get like $15,000. that woman's going to be willing to stay a lot longer than if it was some crazy number. I'm saying that we're doing something that's realistic.
But you're talking about severance pay, right?
But
like a one-time payment.
A one-time payment.
But aren't you incentivizing the men to now being an asshole, cheating, do whatever they want because they know the penalty is literally almost nothing? So we have to actually get to a point. This is the thing, right? Relationship should never be lopsided, because when it was lopsided to the man, our great grandparents, the Lakers lose, and get like they would do. They were the family on the other side of the city. They had nothing to lose. It's fine. I don't have nothing to lose. Let me do what I have to do. And it became exactly the opposite. A place where a man sneezes and he might lose his job and his wife and his house and all that, while the woman is protected. We have to get to a point, where both genders are invested and they know if they split from each other, they're going to lose. There's a penalty for the woman. There's a penalty of the man. Right. What you're doing by putting a number so low is you're going to make reckless men actually do whatever they want, because they understand the worst that it can happen is they're losing $20,000 and then they go about their life. It's
actually smarter to do it this way. Let me tell you, this is just my opinion. Tie the children to the man. See, you can give her the money. Say, let's raise the amount of money, right? Let's just say every guy from the jump.
There's actually a great point.
50,000, 100,000. But if the split happens, she gets the payout. The primary child goes to the man.
There's actually
what you'll find is that women be like, oh no, I gotta make this work. This is the father of my child. We gonna figure this out, because they care about that control over that child more than you gonna care about that $100,000, that $200,000. It has to be somewhere of an equal point of what really matters to women, and what matters to women is control over children, and you can see that everywhere.
If that happened, the women gonna march, boy.
So hold on, let me get Prime.
Wait, let me substantiate. Hold on, I'll be quick. Let me substantiate that argument. I think you can get a woman to give away her kid for $500,000. I think you can get a woman to give away her kid for $250,000. So it's within reason to think that they are willing to gamble that when it's tied to money and tied to children. So I think there's a balance there. I agree with Fatty. You got to have a balance.
There's actually a very solid point where, like, even if the woman is a deadbeat, you get the kid. Give it the money, good to go. You actually get compensated by keeping the kid. You go, and now she has an incentive to actually send a relationship, because that's actually a pretty good.
I disagree. I disagree with Aaron. I think you should. I think you should default to 50-50 custody. I think both parents need to be involved. I get it.
We don't even have default. No, wait. We don't have default right now. There's still always primary. Okay,
but we're talking about in this contract that we're defaulting to 50-50 instead of saying that one person outrules the other. But I want to get Prime. Hold on, Aaron. I'm gonna let you get in there.
Somebody still does, though. Somebody still has primary custody. And it would be nice if men could get primary custody more.
So hold on, I got you. So you believe that you should, so you willing to give up 50-50 custody? That means 1 week with you, 1 week with her. You just want to be the primary custodian parent.
Right.
Well, how does that make sense though? Like, I don't understand how that has ever made sense, because how the child gonna bounce back and forth between houses? What school look like?
You have to be on the same. You have to be on the same 5-10 miles.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's.
But isn't that
well stay together?
Kind of easy. Like, you can do it. Like, getting the house on the 5-10 miles.
Right, but I'm saying we're talking about generalizing this. This can't be generalized.
No way. This is actually really coming in Washington State. I can't speak to other states, but what happened is that when you have the child, you're responsible for taking the child to school, and you pick the child up from school.
Yeah, so we have this in Portugal already, right? It's 2 weeks. And what happens is you have to live on the same 5 square miles, so everything is the same. Basically, it goes to the same shot, goes the same thing. The kids go to the school. The only difference is when the school ends, it goes to his father's house. On the 2 other weeks, it goes to the mother house. Everybody has the school and the activities, the basketball team. They all have a written agreement where the days where who picks who and the authorization, and they go from there. The thing is that difficult to get like a house on the same 5 square miles? And actually,
hold on.
How would you want to though?
MC, I want to read MC. She says, "Fatty is spitting facts. Yes. Shout out to Fatty. He was a sponsor of the last show. We appreciate Team Fatty over here.
Yes.
He said, I just watched a divorce hearing where the man and the women were virgins when they got married. 10 years later, she met an ex-con, hired him, cheated, and divorced her husband. So I'll say this, either man, if you don't like my thought, how about the women put the money in the pool and then they keep the child? One or the other.
Well, I think what should happen is that it should be things in this. I think it should be things inside this documents that says that no fault is divorce exists. Like if you do this, you can forfeit the money. Now I get that y'all might not agree with that, but I believe like
I think it's dangerous, and I covered the reasons why last show, or maybe not last show, but I covered the reasons why.
I actually don't agree with that. I actually don't agree with that. Just because you cheat doesn't mean that you're, for example,
no. He says no fault divorces are not allowed. So that means, Fatty, well, one time my husband came home and I didn't say yes. All those options that happen, I think it's very dangerous. Let those people leave, because what could really happen to you and your character for her to fight to get out of it, divorce attorneys have already said what they tell people to say.
Well, I'm not saying that she can't leave. I'm saying that she can't leave with your money. She can leave.
Yeah. So let me clarify. So you guys are saying is that if there's no excuse, actually, like some plausible thing, you just can leave, get the money, and gone. You have to have actually a reason to actually do it. Is that what you guys saying, right?
I'm saying that if you want to be able to, the contract to be payable, like for them to pay out the contract, say it's $1 million, whatever it is, you have to have a valid reason for leaving.
Yeah, but that's the thing. For example, we saw the Stephen Crowder situation. Everybody saw it, right? Where he's like on the yard with his wife. That thing without the camera is very difficult to prove, man. That shit kills. Oh, Jesus Christ. That thing kills relationship. It's like the erosion, the not abuse, but the leftists call it microaggressions. When you know that person doesn't like to be around you, but they keep cutting and cutting and cutting, that is very difficult to prove in court. And for the video that I saw, if she said she wanted to divorce that man, I'll say absolutely, that's your right. You're pregnant. There's no way that your husband is talking to you like that when you're 9 months pregnant. He actually should be supporting you, making sure that, see what I'm saying? So the no fault divorce thing, in principle, I agree. I just think there are little things that we actually can quantify that is,
I think,
probably motive for divorce.
Because you took him in that worst moment. You took him in he did not put his hands. He was yelling and screaming, whatever the case is. But if we take little moments from everybody's life, it's dangerous, man. I'm not defending him in no way, right? That I don't know the guy. But I think we took that moment. We used a viral clip or whatever to highlight that. He was screaming from a chair. He never approached her aggressively. He was condescending, all those things. I think it's tough to take that moment because, let's be honest, she clearly married him for a reason. He didn't change. He didn't just.
Aaron, that's actually fair. I'm talking. Everybody probably on this panel have dealt with when a woman is done with you, she push the button and push the button and push the button and push the button, and that thing is not quantifiable. If you go to your lawyer, she annoys me. She always trying to pick up like, sir, that's relationships between people. So it's not that isolated case. Is when people move that way towards you for a long period of time, and it becomes a death by 1,000 cuts. But because you die by 1,000 cuts and it didn't die by a blunt blow, now you don't have actually the proof to tell, hey, sir, you see, this day she didn't cook me dinner, and this day she denied me sex, and this day is very difficult to actually you go to court and say she is not being a good wife.
I don't think y'all realize this, but these conversations don't like inspire marriage. I don't know if y'all realize that, like the way we talk about relationships at this point, which I'm not even saying that we shouldn't, right? I think it's good to have this level of information about how relationships go, because we didn't have that in our generation when we were younger, right? We were sold a dream basically. And but that's what I'm saying. Like when we talk about what we're supposed to be telling the next generation, I'm telling you what they're hearing. We can have the conversations with them. They're not caring about no marriage. They're not even thinking about family and all of that. Like my son called me the other day. The last thing he was talking about, he had all this stress he was going through at 18. The last thing he was talking about was marriage, right?
That's two different generations.
Yeah, hold on.
Generation Z.
Yeah, but hold on. I will say this, podcast. if a person wasn't thinking
It's
about
5 years.
family, hold on. If a person wasn't thinking about family, most single men would never be stressed about life because they can afford their own lives. They stress out because they know at some point they're not going to be able to sustain their families. So like even if it's
But
not
no,
said,
I think that's wrong because you can't say that and then at the same time tell me half of men don't even have no families, right? The
but did
point
you
is
hear what
that they're not competing. They're not competing with the
but
women. They're competing with men, right?
no, most men are comfortable doing whatever they 40-hour week job is, staying at that level, cool. If they a single guy for the rest of their life and they never have to take care of children or expense that extra money, they are actually fine with that. The problem is in the back of their mind that when they start to tense up is because they know at some point they're probably gonna want a kid and they have to pay and provide, bro. I think
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that I think that's not, I don't know if that's completely applicable to the generation that we're talking about, because the thing that I'm finding with them is that they don't want to work a job for 40 years, 40 hours a week for 40 years and retire on 40%. That's not some idea that these kids are landing on at this point. They don't like that
I
idea.
agree with that, and I can agree with you is they not wanting to start families. They don't want to do marriage. But I'm telling you, the
That's a
stress
fact.
level. When you talking about people who are stressed out, it ain't because they only take care of themselves with their one job. It's because they know at some point they're going to have to do more, and that's where the stress comes. You can't tell me men are stressed out just taking care of themselves. They're not.
So hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get to you. Hey, Prime TV, I know you're thinking about getting married. We've had a conversation about it. Do you feel like if it was kind of more logical and you had some things like ironed out that you'd be more willing to do it?
I'd say if the courts wasn't set up the way they were, I'll do it. If and also if things were more ironed out, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Fatty. I wanted to see how he felt on it. Go ahead, Fatty.
By the way, happy birthday, Prime TV.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's
happy
coming
birthday,
up.
bro.
Happy birthday,
12
bro.
o'clock.
Happy birthday. So
appreciate it.
I actually disagree with podcast. People do things they don't like all the time. I think after the Kevin Samuels era, people are starting to get more like prepared, aware. They kind of understand what the difficulties are. They're actually getting more prepared.
That's my point. I just tripped off of that. Fatty is legitimately what I just said.
If it was your point, I stole.
No. You didn't steal my point. I'm saying you are my.
You were going to say your point. So
no. I'm saying you are the epitome of my point. If you when you talk, hey, my life is great, I'm single, I did. But if you start thinking about a wife and children, don't that stress level go up?
Absolutely, because that's the my analogy. I think I finished the game. I'm comfortable to say my single life, I finished the game. I got to the end of the game. I saved the. Everything is good. As soon as I save the princess, the game starts all over, and I know it's hard now. It's not the easy like walk through. Is the hard part of the life, right? So, I actually think that, for example, you gave the example of your son. I think what men want is be prepared, like have a level of hope where this is the worst case scenario. If things don't go out, like men go to jobs they don't like all the time, they do things they actually don't enjoy. They just want to make sure if I want to have a kid, this is what I'm expecting. And when the laws are kind of shaky or are in the other favor, they are kind of not going to actually push men to be married. But you know for a fact that these people still having sex. These people still crave companionship. These people still crave actually being with each other, which is going to be inevitable that they get somebody on a later stage of life when they actually accomplish what they have to accomplish. So I believe that is going to be a point where kids is done because the economy doesn't let you have more than one kid before you're getting ruined. But when it comes to relationships, I think that we are coming to a point where women are not happy with what's going on, men are not happy with what's going on. Everybody, after ending a relationship, they're running to the internet, the red pill this, and how to deal with men and how to keep a man. I think on the next 20 years, you are going to see a bounce back because people are going to be more aware and more educated about relationships. I don't think that means that they're going to keep relationships. Because
before you answer that question, I got a question to podcast. Is it possible that your son look like you're his role model and he looks up to you so that he might not value marriage because you don't have the same value of marriage or haven't had that conversation with him? Because all of the men around me, the young kids that's like 13, they want to get married because that's what we talk about and push in our circle. Is that a possibility with your son?
No, because my son is a sucker for love, just like his daddy. I'm not saying he don't want to be married. I'm saying that's not what he's thinking about.
It's not in a
Like that's
priority.
not the thing that right. That's not the thing that's stressing him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was with his girlfriend for 3 years. That's all he cared about. I had to get on him about that. Like you gotta be focused on you. If you don't have your thing going, you will lose every woman you want focusing on her. You got to be focused on you. So I got him to focus on him. But now he just graduated high school. It just got real. Right. So that's what I'm saying. He ain't what's stressing him out ain't no marriage and kids. Right. At 18 years old. What's stressing him out is, Dad, I got to get another job and I got to get a better job making more money. And my mama told me I'm moving to Atlanta and I don't want to go. So if I'm going to stay here by myself, I got to try to get an apartment at 18, 19 years old. And how am I going to be able to afford that? I don't want to live in the city. I want to stay out here in the suburbs where I'm at, where rent is $1,400 for. Like he's going through real stuff. He ain't worried about no marriage, is my point. So what I'm saying is with this generation now that's coming up, they not thinking about that either. They thinking about they want their life to look like how it look on social media for other people. And how do I get my life to look like that? Because I don't see anybody around me punching a clock and their life look like that. And I want my life to look like that. I want that same kind of freedom. And the thing about it is that not everybody qualifies for that. Not everybody could get on these cameras and pick up these microphones and make $10,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a lot of people, a lot of shorties, particularly the boys, trying to figure it out. The girls, I got a lot of nieces and nephews, man. Like all of my nieces is straight. They
Let me
got
tell you a secret,
jobs, apartments, cars. You know what I'm saying? iPhones. Only two of them got three of them got kids. All the rest of them don't. But they all on their own. The boys still staying with auntie over here, still staying with grandma over there, struggling. You see what I'm saying?
There's a reason for that though. But Aaron, I definitely want to get TJ.
I gotta get to the super chats, but I gotta say, well, podcast, you have to understand. Well, I'll get to the super chats. I forgot my point. E-Man, shout out to Tommy B, town business in the building. You know how that go. E-Man speaking on extremes is wasting the conversation. 99.9. Is it that high, Tommy? People won't be in that situation. Speak on regular people. The majority will go through. And he's referencing the money that you would put up prior to getting married that you would lose. You ain't about to put $1 million in the pot. You probably could put about 10,000. I think that's what his reference is. T.O. says, you enjoy me with my teens or leave with nothing. I actually agree with that, but to a certain degree, we might got to pay the cost to be the boss. Okay. MC says the husband was a stay-at-home dad while she chased her career. She was using money from their business to buy the new boyfriend a motorcycle. Yes, women with power are going to act like people with power because apparently power corrupts all. Okay. Theo says, men.
Now you want to be honest.
I'm always honest. Men, not the leaders. No more is 2023. This is not the 1950s. Well, you know how me and Fatty talk about this leader stuff. All right. A tithe to y'all God, Anton Daniels. Peace be upon to him. He wanted to send that. Say that.
So TJ had a question. I think it was for the panel. TJ, what's your question?
So
go ahead, Aaron. Did you remember, Aaron?
No, go ahead. Go.
Yeah, so I was just wondering. I really had two questions. So at what age do you think kids, mainly boys, are going to be start looking at marriage? That's the first question. The second question is, do you think that your situation, either man, is the majority, or do you think that majority kids are going to have your type of circle around you or around them?
Before you ask y'all, I want to respond to podcast real quick. Your son have a job. I don't mean to be extra nosy, but I'm just wondering, right? All he need to do is get some roommates. He'd be all right. Get some roommates. I just
told him the same thing.
6. Look, listen. Hey, listen. I holler at him if you want me to, and I tell him exactly what he need to do. Get his mind right, simple. He just need a plan. because you only panic when you probably got a short amount of time to make a move. All he needs is 6, 7 rooms. He don't care, and he ain't even got to be there. So that's
I
easy.
literally just told him something similar when we talked about it. It was in the middle of my show. He called me, and I told Raw B and him to take over the show, and I went to talk to him. And he's stressing, and I told him the same thing about the roommates. It's just, man, I seen it work. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't. My best friend who passed away in December, him and his cousin, 2 of his cousins. Thank you, brother. Really, for real. Thank you for that. Him, 2 of his cousins, one of his best friends did the same thing you're talking about, Eric. They had a 3-bedroom with a basement that they rented out, and
you ain't gotta like it.
Sense.
You can let it drive. You ain't gotta like it. You ain't gotta be there. I was always busy finding myself and just be sleeping, bro, and then focusing on school. What he doing? He'd be all right.
But they were grown to that point, though, right? They were all grown men. They weren't, 18. And that's my thing. He got a little Ecuadorian girlfriend. I told him, like, man, look, we could sit down with her dad. Her dad is a single father. Shout out to all the single fathers out there. Her mom passed away, RIP. And I told him we could sit down with the dad and see if the dad would be comfortable with y'all 2 living together. Y'all both just graduated. She working, you working. That's how they build. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is.
But
I think he would probably prefer that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, because he has a woman. But at the bottom, at the low end, at the end of the day, get a bunch of roommates and do what you gotta do, bro. Like, don't, because that's essentially what most people are going to end up doing. Men are more willing to take on roommates. Women are less likely to want to do it. They're willing to spend extra bread for a little bit of comfort, while men are like, I'm gonna save this bread for this discomfort. So I see it happen all the time.
So TJ, if I heard your question correctly, you were saying, do I believe that most people can have my situation? Was that your first question?
That was the second question.
Yeah, that was the second question.
What was your first?
Well, the first question was, at what age do you think that young boys are starting to think about and really take serious marriage? Because he was saying that Beans was saying his kid was 18. And y'all was saying, oh, that's a different generation. We talking about younger. So are we saying that kids at 13, 14 is going to be thinking about marriage?
So let's cover that. So first of all, I think that it's all about influencing right now how we're raising kids at 13, right? So when I talk about the environment, I believe that I'm talking about something that's actually happening right now. This is not the future. We're not talking about the past. We're not talking about the future. We're talking about the present. So what I believe is that we should be talking about, and it's just my belief, about putting them in the right situations where they see healthy marriages. Most people don't want to get married because they don't know what healthy marriages look like. So I had the privilege to see healthy marriages, see people be able to work certain things out in a marriage. So that's why it was attractive to me. But I do agree with podcasts when podcasts saying, if you've never seen this, why would you even believe that it's something realistic? Especially because you got to remember, us on YouTube, we have one theory versus the people that are that age. I don't think they have the same mindset that we have because we have been hurt by life. Right. So I think that they're positive about it. I think that they're looking at these relationships, looking at these women, and they're thinking that they want to be with these women long term. But if we don't have the conversation about marriage, we can't expect them to want something that we didn't talk about.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you like this, TJ. Like I said, I got a lot of nephews and nieces, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you this: them boys ain't thinking about no marriage, bro. But here's the kicker part: the girls ain't either, right? Yeah. Like you hear that narrative that the girl is with the boy, she had a baby, they give her all the government assistance, she breaks up with the boy.
Yep.
I've seen that happen 3 times.
And that's why I feel that's why I said what I said earlier. Right. Because I feel like that's what's happening a lot more often because of what our children
have y'all seen the statistics?
Yeah, but it's not. Hold on, I'm sorry, Prime. It's not so much just that though.
That's podcast point.
They rather having kids too. So
but that's podcast point that he did before. They rather struggle free,
right,
than actually flourish on a position where the guy is saying you do this, you do that, you go this and you go that.
Aaron O just made that same point when he said the women would rather pay more for their own comfortability.
I get what I think y'all are wrong. I think like when I look at the kids in my neighborhood, they don't know what food stamps is.
This ain't about food stamps though. You're missing the point.
Hold on. It's not about food stamp. They don't know what food stamps is. They don't know what Section 8 is. I get if you say that this mindset is with people that's in the hood, but
no. Either man, college educated woman have higher divorce rates, and they probably make more money than this woman. The thing is about freedom. When you are, this is about mindset, right?
It's about
when you
autonomy.
put a man on a situation when he's survive, that man will be stuck on a place where it's going to be very difficult to take him out of that place to the abundance mindset. They usually, when it comes to the woman, it's the same thing. You keep pushing the free, independent. By the time they get married at 29, which is 29 years of spoiled, the dad spoiling them, and they're getting all they want from men, they are not willing to just say, I respect this dude, let me put under his wing and let me coast. They still want the power struggle. They can get the most powerful man on the world. They still want to push his arm and to see if he actually is going to budge. You see what I'm saying? It's just a question of how we're raising our sisters, daughters, whatever.
What I'm saying is I believe that they like under let's say under really let's go from 21 to 13. I think they still believe in love. I think that they believe in love. I don't think they think about using somebody at 13. Like, oh, let me find out how can I manipulate this dude.
Are they marrying young?
That's a different right. That's a different.
Are they marrying young? Are the women in your neighborhood married at 21 or 19?
Listen, but what I think is happening is that when they talk to people of our generation, they say, "Man, don't get married." Like, cause when I talk to most of the people around our age, they're actually saying, "Don't get married," and I think they're listening to the people. But I think if it was a group of people, because I see it when a family is pushing marriage, typically the kids get married. When the family don't push marriage, the kids don't get married. No, that's typically how that works.
Man, actually, there's the thing, right? When Glorilla did that video, oh girls, how are you? Marry, hey, don't leave your 20s, be toxic and all that. People assume that's the wretched woman. You come to Europe, woman of high society saying that, have fun in your 20s. Bougie women are saying that. Women that are married are saying that, have fun. But that is going to put a lot of conditioning on a woman. She's going to have to be strong and independent if she has by herself. She has to work. She has to actually push herself throughout her company, whatever. And when you met her, because this is the average age of marriage right now is 29. Now she has a mindset. She has a software system. You think, oh, she met Fatty. Fatty is established. Now I just have to update the software and she's good to go. No, that thing is always going to be on the back of her end. Always.
Here's the problem, and I think this is the real reason that the issue is, and I talk about it all the time. Arrested Development. When you start speaking about that community, when you play Ben Shapiro, they're raising those young men at 12, 13, 14 years old to be men. It's not no wait till you 18, 19, 20, you still a baby. Oh, you ain't even grown up yet. They operate differently. This is why I always think back. I'm like, dang, grandpa was 14, 15, kids married, and and they go back and I'm like, this whole we ain't adults until we 28, 29 now. This is why they getting married later on, because we keep delaying the growing up part. We need to encourage and put more responsibility on people at a younger age, which gonna give me a lot of flack because no, let them be a children. Let them. It's proven that it's not effective.
You saying you want them to get married earlier?
It's not what I said.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure
that those people are indoctrinated very soon to actually grow up faster and take responsibility very soon. All the other men is like, oh, the economy. Which is kind of true. All the economy. Oh, you are going to get it at 30. Don't worry about it. But the thing is, Aaron, isn't that actually fair? Because I think economically, let's be honest, right? A lot of this is I can afford this stuff. Because I know for a fact when men are broke, they don't want to date. They don't go walking around. They don't and most men, I believe, if they are broke, they don't feel.
Who learned you that?
No, 1 second.
Don't men date more than people with money.
Let me ask you this. Like
35%.
Ever since I want a serious relationship with the woman, I can get into a serious relationship with a woman if I know I'm not in financial condition to even take her on a date, take her to some movie, something like that, right? The way that the economy now is actually presented to us, the way that these men are getting independent higher, the age 31, 30, 33, 34, actually doesn't make them do that. Because I believe if you gave 1 million, not 1 million, 1 million too much, it is going to be wilding. But if you actually gave a nice, like $100,000 job, the $200,000 job and all that, don't you think that if these men had that money at 21, 22, 23, don't you think that they will actually would be more propelled to get a family way sooner and get
No.
kids and all that? You don't believe that?
Depend on the
I'm
kid.
telling you because
Depend
yeah,
on
it
the
does. It
dude.
does. But again, the conversations are about generality, right? I'm saying no because that still opens you up to a whole nother level of experience, right? The one thing that you realize, like to either man's point, he's using specifically the word marriage, right? Well, what we know is that a lot of people, the majority of people, are in relationships, right? We know that 40% of black households in America have two-parent households married, right? And there's an argument to be made that there could be as much as 20% more where they're not married, right? This is just amongst the adults. So, because a lot of people do shack up, a lot of people shack up, millions and millions of people shack up, right? So, it's not about not wanting to be in a relationship, have a girlfriend, have somebody to be with, come home to, all that type of stuff. But it's about the marriage itself. It's a contract. And because it's a contract, most people aren't willing to just dive into contracts, bro.
Yeah, but
Not to mention the fact that it's gonna cost you something. We all know most women don't want to go down to the courthouse. They
so
want a
what?
wedding.
So,
They
but
want a
that's the
ten
thing,
thousand
right?
dollar ring.
I
They want
think
When
it's
all of the other
normal.
stuff that go
Hey,
along with it.
podcast. I think if a woman's really feeling you, she'll go to the courthouse and she'll get $100 ring. Like
No,
this,
But no, not no $100 ring.
Hey,
But no, I'm
Hey,
not
my
saying you
girl
did.
asked for a
Look, Edie man, hold on. Let me
$220
give you my
ring.
anecdotal
I'm not gonna lie.
because you said something about me that actually wasn't true. I got married when I was 19 years old. We didn't even have no rings. We went down to the judge. We got the paperwork. We went to the church. Me, her grandmama, my auntie. No rings. I do. We hit the road, came to Chicago. Right. So I get what you're saying when a woman is really feeling you, but at the same time, what did Aaron O and Fatty say earlier is that the stress comes when when you feel like you have to produce for your woman, aka your family. She's your original family member before you have kids, assuming you did it the smart way, right? So when you having that conversation and your woman say, "Yeah, I want this kind of wedding, I want that kind of ring, I want this kind of honeymoon." Well, that's what's in your head
well, you
for
don't
most
need that
people,
type,
and so
but
they
you don't
trying
need
to
that.
attain that.
But you don't need that type of woman. like
Yeah.
so. Listen, if me and my wife got married in my pastor office, I told her if you need all that, you ain't the person for me. And some men need to be willing to walk away. If she need all this glamour, all this $50,000 wedding, that means that she don't really value the wedding
so
and the marriage.
yeah, so but friends, but this is where I actually
I'm
think
gonna
we're talking
argue with
about different things. When you guys talking
you.
about marriage, it's not signing the paper. It's cohabitating. Because we know for a fact if you cohabitate with a person 5 years, you're going to get the same destiny probably. Like it might be okay, but why me? Why the man?
Why you say that?
I'm gonna tell you why. Just based off the people that I have talked to, right? So let's say it's anecdotal. I want to make sure I say that first,
Yeah, I
so
got a
that y'all
question for you.
can't go out there. But a girlfriend give different advices than a wife. They don't give the same advice because they have different level investments.
No. I'm talking about
with that part, even, but I don't think that's what Fatty talking about.
because what we say is men are afraid of divorce, right? If you live with a woman for 7 years per se, she gets letters on your house. That's her official residence. If she actually goes to the court and says, "Hey, I was married," you're probably going to have the same destiny because there's cohabitation laws. There's common law or something like that. In Portugal, it's called cohabitation laws. So when we're talking about
back though, maybe they can. I don't know.
but that's the thing. When we're talking, like, there's a big case on Brazil actually, where a girlfriend of the biggest YouTuber in Brazil She was girlfriend of him for 4 years, no kids, no nothing. She took him to court and she got $30 million, which in Brazil is like 5 times more. So what happens is when you are on cohabitation, you have something to lose. When you live on the same house, you raise the kids on the same place. This is what we're talking about. I don't think it's about the wedding and the ring per se, because that's there's another problem, right? I think men are actually afraid of living on the same house with a woman, getting a kid there, living with her for a bunch of years, and now they be liable by something that actually might happen to them. So
you think they're afraid of it?
Hello, I don't think
Yes,
they're afraid of that. I think more people shacking up than you think, especially in the marriage.
That's a fact.
I absolutely know, but the man, that's my point. I don't see no difference between the man that's checking up with the woman for 10 years and they live a married life per se, than the person that has a ring and they wear the wedding and they still do the same thing. I don't see no difference for them, for the kid. I don't see nothing different.
That part I agree with.
That's what I'm saying. I do see it different because I think the woman, her investment in that man is different. So a girlfriend typically give you advice that girlfriend gives you, and a wife give you advice that wife. And I said on record that my wife.
Give me an example.
There's no way he can't.
I think you are trying to validate yourself now.
That's a fact.
But give me an example and tell me how a woman that is 7 years living with me, right? And a woman that is 7 years living with me, but there's a ring, a marriage, some pictures of me like on a chapel or something like that. Right. What is the difference that the advice? Give me one example.
So first of all, I believe that women that have marriages have a different level of security. Do you believe that they do have more security?
Absolutely not. Let me explain you why. A woman that is married, there's more probability of a woman signing a prenup if they actually get married than me and a woman living on same house. We didn't sign nothing.
That's a bad argument, Friday.
No. Either man, listen to me.
We end up having less security though.
A marriage implies that there's a start date on something. So when people get to something, they prepare themselves. Hey, this is what the prenuptial agreement. This is what we're going to do. This is the thing that we're going to acquire. When one second. No, either man, that's fine. But even then, you actually have a start. Let's imagine that Fatty gets a woman. She's living in my house for 7 years. Fatty becomes a giant YouTuber. On the 7 years that she's with me, I make a ton of money. That woman that is living with me by cohabitation laws with no plan, didn't have a prenup, we didn't get married. When she leaves, she's going to be entitled to a lot of money, bro. Because I didn't sign nothing. I literally said, hey, come live with me. We're going to be parents. We're going to live on the same house. Actually, the married people are more prepared than the people that are cohabitating, and that's my point.
I think I can't speak for your country, but that's not how it works in America.
Really?
Like, they have common law in America too, though.
Yeah, most people don't. Most people don't practice that though. Here, Fatty, you're right, Fatty, but most people don't practice it here.
But hold on. I want to say the podcast is being truthful tonight. Do you believe that a woman that's in a marriage have more security than a woman that's not in a marriage?
No, I don't believe that.
As long as they got a child, they got security.
As child support, you can include on a prenup.
Crazy.
Alimony, you can include on a prenup.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I think I misheard you. I think because I'm agreeing with you, either man.
Okay.
So whatever you said, I thought I might have misheard you.
No, it is proven that women feel that they have more security in the marriage.
Oh, yes.
But you said, wait. You said feel, but do they actually?
Yeah, do they actually?
Without feelings, they have more security in a marriage. That's what y'all complain about. Y'all complain about that they have.
That's a good point. That's a good point, right? That's a good point.
About consequences.
No, but that's a good point that he's making, right? And I understand that because that's my issue with marriage. Is that that's exactly what the heck it is for women, right? I just literally was talking about this the other day. If a woman says to me, yeah, I want to be married, I'm looking for security, I'm telling my son, bro, run. Throw a brick at this broad and get up out of there.
So
if a woman even use son, hold on, man.
Not use that phrase no more.
Son, I just want to say this to my son, all my nephews, if y'all ever see this.
Run.
If a woman ever says the word security to you, run Fast
So
as you
so
can. Get
so
the hell away
podcast
from
and
her.
the man. This is why I disagree with you, because I remember being on a panel and somebody was saying, "Oh my God, people need to get married because if the man dies now, the wheel." No, it was something like that. Like she needs to get the benefits if he dies. She didn't have to go to fighting with the family to get the house and all that shit. And I literally told her, "Okay, so why don't you tell your husband to do a will? It works the same way. The motherfucker died."
It's
Sorry,
not.
Jesus.
No,
It's
that's
past
not.
2 hours. It's
One
past
second.
2 hours, Fatty. It's okay.
The man dies and they get the will and they say the house go to my wife Maria and he's good with, right? And she said,
But
"No,
it's
I want the
contested.
marriage."
It's contested differently.
Yeah,
though.
like if you understand how probate court work, is like
So
a
is
wife.
more security by being married than the will saying go to the
Yeah,
will?
because by
Yes.
default, there is more security. The will still has the value to it. It is still legal, but either man is right.
You're
That
going to have
probate-
to fight a little bit more.
because
No,
what
you
happens
can
is
lose. You can lose.
you have to fight it off sometimes. People
On
be
the
like, "Oh,
will?
I'm a distant relative. I'm entitled to this." Like with the right lawyers, a lot of stuff has happened. So
I didn't know
get
that.
that aspect.
Which facilitates the point, right? That capitalism sucks, right? So
Here we go.
no, this is true, right? Because even to Aaron's point earlier, right? When we were, I don't know, I think it might have been Fatty. Somebody was making a point about the Ben Shapiro and how they raised them to be men way
was that?
earlier and this and that. Well, we know why they push manhood back for the children of America, right? Because they're trying to profit off of childhood, right? This is the whole reason why they extended it and made it the way that they did, so that they could, because now you got, not to mention, who's the biggest consumer specifically in our community?
Yeah, woman.
The women. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. They're gonna go out and buy everything their kid want, everything their kids see, everything their kid touch, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like that's the reason why I threw capitalism in it.
It's
But
proven.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I'm
No,
saying
go ahead. I want to hear your point.
It's proven that women spend more because they're trying to fill the void of feeling like they failed their child by picking the wrong dad and the dad ain't around, so they overcompensate. So it's a proven thing. When dad's around, we not getting that firm. We don't care about that crying, all that kind of stuff. So
not to mention this part too, Aaron. Guess what? If you raise those boys to become men earlier, guess what? Also, you're raising them to be more mature, more disciplined, more financially sound, right? So that's going to eliminate them having spending habits. Now they get the women off the market even faster. That's less money they spending. I'm just saying.
I got a question for y'all too, though.
But I agree with Aaron's point before we go to your question, is because that's what happened to me. At 13, I made all the mistakes that 18, 19, 20-year-olds did. I was just able to be under my parents' roof. Because this is a conversation my grandfather had at 13 with me. He said, "Hey, you a man, you need to start doing X, Y, Z." And so I was failing. I was still going through the same thing that an 18, 19-year-old was, but I had a covering. I was paying rent. I was doing all of the stuff. I just had a covering. So when I got to 18, I had been doing it for almost 5 years at that time. So my mindset was a lot different at 18 than most people's mindset at 18, because they at the starting line at 18. I was at the starting line at 13.
But it's actually a similar
behind the starting line.
It's actually a similar argument for the women. If you look at the women that said I had to take care of my little sisters and brothers growing up, they get money because that level of maturity made them grow up much faster, but then they don't want children. But those are the women that are actually getting the money. We're like, we should get a child. You got money. But they want to reject it because they grew up there and all that responsibility was put on them so early. Now, those are your master's degrees and all those women and stuff. Like you can kind of see it reflected in them.
I actually have a question for you, the man, right? Since you were raised into that environment, why took you so long to get married? Because you're married in the 30s, right? Like why the buffer from 18 to 30? Why got you so long to get married?
I married in my 20s, not my 30s. I got married in my 20s.
29?
No, I think I was like 28. Because I've been married for 5 years.
Yeah, what it took you so long from, you are saying that you're raised at 13, you had some type of actually influence from grown-ups and all that. Why it took you some 18, 10 years to actually you getting the decision?
I can answer that question. So what happened is I went to the United States military, and I did not want to be married in the military. So
Smart man.
so my grandfather was a first sergeant, and he told me that a military life is. He said you will be abandoning your family for years at a time, and you're not going to be able to put the values that you see in your family. So the 8 years that I was in the military, I did not get married for that simple reason, because I was in the military.
Okay, that's fair. Because I just wanted to understand. Because, like podcast said, my nephew is a sucker for love. 99% of men are.
Mhm.
I'll guarantee you, the average 22-year-old is a sucker for. If going to fall in love with the woman, is not just going to put the kid on her. And this is why we're talking about economy. I believe that if average 22-year-old has a job in tech where he gets $125,000 and he fell in love with a woman, the first thing you will try to do is, let me actually cuff you so nobody can touch you. Let me put the kid on you. Let's have a life. Even if he fails, I think actually most men live on that type of life where as soon as they get the relationship, everything feels great. They start to sabotage themselves. They start to work less. They start to go to the gym because they feel they actually finish the game and they actually achieve the ultimate level of happiness, which is having a family, having a woman they love, having a kid, and all that. I don't think women are near that. I think women, unfortunately, like podcast was telling about the freedom thing, a woman will look at the relationship a lot of times as, why does this ceiling is here? And when they mention the glass ceiling, is one of those translucent ceilings where you can see the sun, you can see birds fly, and you wonder, what? Oh my God,
Don't
why
you
am
give
I?
podcast that credit for freedom? I'm the one here on YouTube that started
Yes,
that
sir.
narrative of
No,
freedom.
you do actually.
That
Okay,
is a lie.
Wait,
I,
Sal,
That
wait.
is a lie.
I got.
Wait.
I think
Boy,
primetime
Sal.
TV
Oh yeah.
had a
The question that you
October
asked me,
30th, 2021.
why am I a little cautious about marriage? So one of the other things is that I've always heard that once you get married, they change. They change up on you. So I want to know if you guys ever experienced that, or like, have you heard that about
every
yourselves?
relationship changes after you get married.
Once
Every
married,
single one of them.
So to be
like I'm talking like
honest,
personality
what hap-
wise.
no, so to be honest, all people change in 4 years. You're not the same person that you was 4 years ago. I
But
think
not
so many.
even just with just that ring on, even just for whatever
Well,
reason,
my
just putting that ring
my,
on.
my wife,
Change in what way?
no, yeah, like my wife.
They just completely just sometimes most of the time it's bad. I hear bad. Like they start
Yeah,
taking advantage of
this.
the situation.
Listen,
They
my
got
wife.
you.
We didn't go to sleep our married night and then wake up. She was a different person. I don't believe that happens. It does happen to people. I'm not this. That didn't happen in my situation. But we did change. Like the things. Like for example, when I first got married, we drunk. Like both of us liked alcohol, so we drank alcohol. And then we phased out of wanting to drink alcohol. Like it's certain things that we kind of phased out of because we matured. I was a different person in my 20s than I was in my 30s. So it's a maturing thing happen, and a lot of people grow apart. We don't talk about that.
So
Say for example, the man is maturing and the woman is not maturing. Why? And then now it's an argument about why you don't want me to drink versus he don't want to drink anymore. It's like things like that when they say that people change based off of mindset.
So Prime, I'm gonna tell you, I think it was Fatty who said it. He's 100% correct. It happens in all relationships. I think either man has a great point. That happens in relationships as well. But as it just pertains to women, something that the young men I think you should understand, right? We don't have to. I shouldn't have to make the disclosure that this isn't all women, but I will.
Yeah.
Women they're prostitutes, right? By nature. Like they want something for their sex, right? And usually the way that they have their mind set up is that they see their life going a certain way. And what has been told to them is that you need to make your life look this way and don't depend on a man making your life look that way. Because most men won't. But they really do want the man to make their life look the way they want it to look. So when they get with you, their expectation is for you to paint that picture for them that they see in their head. When you don't, they begin to slowly change.
Mm.
Okay, it's been a year. I'm still in this Camry. I don't know if he know I want this Lexus ES3, right? But he ain't got me this Lexus ES3. So now it's a bit of resentment when they're having sex with you
Yep.
because they feel like you're not doing these things that they want you to be doing. It's this trip I've been wanting to take. And that last time I mentioned to him, he said we can't. But my girl went, her sister went, my cousin went.
Yeah, on social
Bro, it's
media.
been 3 years. We still don't own a house yet. I still don't own a house yet.
Where podcast going with that? You can respond, either man. Then I got to read the super chats to get us caught up.
Yeah. So no, I think what happened is it failed to plan. If my wife want to go, for example, to Jamaica, I should be able to plan that in the next 3 years. Like if you have money coming in, I think if she want to go on the trip and she want to do this, I can plan those things out. So I don't think we should just be like, no, you can't get this. We should plan it.
I don't like traveling. I hate traveling. So you got to go to Jamaica by yourself. All right, let me get to these super chats. Timeout says, I see you, Aaron O, triggering people tonight. Not me, Either Man Williams. Okay. Dust Mask says, I was grown at 2 years old, drinking Colt 45, more liquor. You weren't drinking no more liquor at that age, because if you was, somebody need to be locked up. Okay. MC says, alimony is only paid out in 15% of actual marriages. Alimony is not the majority. That is because alimony normally is a strategic move by a much more well-established, richer man, typically. But they do just tend to have a agreed amount to pay out to leave. Typically, that's one of the main reasons. I am him says, why did he marry a single mom if he had options? Here we go. We know
it was in love.
Love. Okay. Security boss. What's going on, security boss? Either man, single-minded individuals know nothing about being married.
Hey, Aaron, how do you breathe if you don't believe in God?
How do I breathe? I believe in God, so I'm going to continue to breathe.
Yeah. So what it really comes down to, what I was saying, I think right before we did the super chats, is that I think that it's an illusion that you think that you get the same advice. I don't think that unmarried women tell their boyfriends the same things that married women do. So podcast, you said you have.
Go ahead.
No.
Wait, let him finish. Go ahead. Podcast, you said what?
Go ahead. It's fine.
So podcast, you feel that your woman is invested in a relationship the same? Like
absolutely. You know how I know?
So too.
Wait. Here's what's crazy. You know how I know? Because the average black marriage lasts 5.5 years, and I've been with my girl for 13.
I got it. I'm glad you said that. Listen, I'm happy
she invested.
That. So, do you feel like if you gave her a ring, she would change up?
Not in the way that you saying change up. No.
No. It's the reason I asked that question. So now,
I'm saying the way that you saying change up, but guess what would change? The expectations. And that's my point, is that it's something about that we're married, right? The expectations change. Actually, I shouldn't have to work because I'm your wife. I should be able to sit on my ass and not do nothing all day long. Now the expectations change, right? It becomes less about willing to build with you and more about you providing for me, unless you have a wife like my mom, because my mom was always like, look, I'm gonna go get this money. But you the husband, so you wait, because you the husband, you gonna pay this rent. But I'm gonna pay all the other bills. I'm gonna buy all my own furniture, water wall carpet, Venetian blinds, new bedroom furniture, whatever I want. I'm gonna get it, because when you leave, you ain't taking nothing with me. See,
so that goes against your point. I just asked you, do you believe a wife and a girlfriend give two different advices, and you said no, they are the same. And then I asked you the question is, if your girl got a wing, would she change up? You say yes. So that proves.
I said not to the point that, not to the way that you saying change up.
No, but I'm just saying, based off what you're saying that it's two different people, regardless if it's negative or positive, because I'm not trying to focus on that. You said that it's two different advices that you're getting.
It's not. I'm not saying that, because what my girl has never told me when I came home from work stressed out and was like, man, I should beat my manager ass. You know what she never said? You should, babe. Fuck him. She never said that. She said the same thing a wife would. Calm down. You know, people they act like they act, babe. It's gonna be okay. Made me something to eat, gave me some head. I went to bed, got up and did it again,
So
like any wife would.
For prime time, what he said is two different people. He said it's based off the words.
He's not keep saying that.
No, he's not.
You just gonna keep saying that out loud. Everybody can hear me talking.
He's
You know
not
that,
saying
right?
that because
are we listening to two different people? He said that
you are.
I'm just saying based off what he said. He said she's this person. She don't have expectations. She don't do these things because we're not.
He said expectations will change.
Right.
Yeah, guys, be careful because he might be getting y'all here. Pay attention. He might.
Yeah, not. There's one thing that both of them are having. There's
just one second. I want to.
Go ahead, D. We think she's winning.
We remember what you said, E. What you specifically stated. Hold on, I want you to know you ain't getting me.
He thinks he's winning. Let him do his victory lap.
Okay,
there you go.
Okay, so prime time. If a woman, this is a straight up question. If she have higher expectations, will she give you different advice because her expectations are higher? Prime time.
Probably.
That's a BS question. That's a BS question, prime time.
One second.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Right after Patty. I'm gonna tell you why.
One second. Because the thing is, listen to this, the man. People will change when they have leverage over you, right? They don't change. They put their shit on overdrive. A girlfriend will say something, and she doesn't have the security, she will stop at one point. A wife is going to say the same thing, but that she's going to put that shit on the red line. So my point was, both are a bottomless pit. You guys were talking about vacations. As soon as she goes to Jamaica, she's going to come back and she's planning on the new one. As soon as you do the renovations on the kitchen, she's going to expect the renovations on the bedroom. Both women are the same and they work the same way. And there's a difference between, for example, a man and a woman. A man thinks, I bought a house. Game over. Sega. Right. End of the game. No more. I got a car. He's going to serve me for 15 years. End of the game. A woman will always, that's the favorite word, more.
Right.
More. And
right.
A girlfriend with that on her. A girlfriend will have that on her. She just doesn't push it enough because she's afraid of actually losing you. A wife, when she has the commitment, the law, the judge, the cop on her side. Now she's pushing you and pushing you. And this is the biggest afraid of a man, is that she doesn't set a goal. She says, I want an ambitious man. And now you are on the rat race for the rest of your life because you are controlled by her needs and you are keeping pushed and being pushed and being pushed until you fell on your grave. That's
Fatty, hold on real quick because I want to say this to make sure you man. Fatty, first of all, I got to say this. Fatty, you beautiful devil. I mean, you really brought it home right there because that was the point where that's the point where I was said. I say so. Prime time. That's why I was telling E the man it was a BS question because he said higher expectations. What do you mean higher? How is it higher that you're thinking more selfishly? How are you being higher thinking more selfishly? How is that a higher expectation?
I'm not explaining to you. Hold on. First of all,
not higher.
Hold on, I'm not explaining to you because.
Wait. You got to ask Primetime a question. Let me ask Primetime my question.
I let you land. You gotta let me finish. And
I just started talking. We just listened to Fatty's soliloquy.
We can't go along.
Go ahead, bro. That's crazy.
Let me ask Primetime.
I can't wait to get this bag so you can stop treating me like this.
I got you. Listen, Primetime. Let me ask you a question. If you, as a man, if your expectations increase, do you think that you're going to do more or you're going to do less?
Jesus. Primetime, do you not see the BS in the question?
Why are y'all so triggered on this?
I mean, I'm the type of person who will push myself to do more. I'm ambitious, so.
Okay, listen. So when a woman expectations,
say that she wants a bigger house. Now she wants
bigger house is a great example, right? So my wife wanted a bigger house. I'm glad you used that, right? I don't think that women should not have expectations, right? They shouldn't just be. I don't think
said that. It's the same expectation. An apartment for the girlfriend,
this
a house for the wife.
It's not gonna work on us.
Let's have the
Either man,
conversation.
no, either man. Let it
Listen, y'all
marinate.
are getting so
An
triggered.
apartment for the girlfriend, a house for the wife. It's literally the same thing. It's just a higher expectation, but it's the same exact thing. Same
No.
thing.
He's saying we triggered because we figured out his BS.
A
He don't want us
vacation,
to expose
a vacation in Miami,
Listen, y'all
and
all-
now
we
you're
all
married.
can't talk
A
at the
vacation
same
in
time.
Brooklyn.
Listen,
Same thing.
see, prime
Let us
time.
land in.
Prime time. This is the point that I'm telling you, prime time.
Don't
My
let
wife
him trick you, Prime. Don't let him
my wife wanted a bigger house, right? So we started looking into bigger houses.
No, wait. Her or you? You are the leader.
Listen. I get y'all guys. You know how to chance to respond. I give everybody a chance to
You
respond.
prove our point.
See, prime time. You see that once I start getting these single guys into a corner, they can't hold their discipline. They gotta.
You said my wife went to the
been in my relationship longer than you.
Prime time.
Like, what?
And you gave this one.
Prime time. This is what happened. Prime time. My wife said she wanted a bigger house, right?
Yes.
I said, cool. The difference between our old house and our new house is this amount. Let's just say $2,000, $1,500 a month, right? I said, how are we going to be able to find a solution to bring in an extra $2,000 a month? Then my wife started looking into ways. Hey, Calibel, appreciate you.
Boo.
My wife started looking for situations because I said, that's good that you want. We got to find a way how we going to solve this problem. My wife started looking into finding property. She found a property that was that had a mother-in-law suite. She found a way to make up that difference in something. I'm okay with upgrading your lifestyle, but I need you to participate in your own rescue. So I'm okay with her expectations.
But see, I already knew you was gonna say that because I know the story. We talk all the time. But the problem is most women are not that competent to do that.
So why does Aaron get to say it? So you just gonna take my talking point? All right, cool. Don't worry about it.
Wait.
Where my
What was the
phone
talking point?
No, don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Why is
YouTube reportvideos.com.
I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said.
Because that's the point. Man, that's what I'm saying. That TJ asked Edelman earlier, right? It's unfair for Edelman to do this in conversations, right? It's unfair to us too, but he tries to use his situation as an example. In the next breath, he's gonna tell us how his situation ain't regular, it ain't average. So you don't get to use yours. That's the point, right? You said you've been with your wife for how long now? You've already outlasted the average marriage. You're not regular. You see what I'm saying? So the point is, we're talking about what's more likely to happen in generality, and that's what I'm saying. We have women. When I said the expectation changes, what I literally said was the women will start thinking like, well, I'm your wife. I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do that. It's supposed to be more on you. They have in their mind what they think their life is supposed to be like, and you're the one who's supposed to provide it. And you're shaking your head, but guess what? We got we got 3 to 4 years of evidence from red pill content of women. Of women, regardless to how much money they made, they still want a man who made equal or more because they wanted him to provide the life. So evidence is there, either man. So we can't We can't use your experience. We can't do it. I'm sorry.
You said equal or more, right?
That's what they say.
So if it's equal, are you saying that because he makes the same that the woman feels like she doesn't have to work anymore?
No, we're saying that women expect for men to provide that lifestyle. Let's not do the pretentious thing. We've all watched the same videos. We've all seen them, right? So the whole point is, I want this kind of lifestyle, whether I'm providing it for myself now or whether or not you're going to provide it for me later. The point is that you're supposed to be able to provide the lifestyle that I want. That is literally how women think.
I love the podcast. I gave her a choice. We can stay in this.
She gave you directions. She said, I want a bigger house.
Listen, man, do your wife listen to
If you listen to what I'm saying, Fatty,
you just say, I wanted the bigger house, or you say she wanted the bigger house?
Using your example, bro.
Listen, I know podcasts don't want me to use my example, but she had a choice. She either can stay in the same house or she can solve the problem. I gave her a choice. I had no problem staying in that same house. I said, what we'll do is we can stay in the same house, but if you don't want to be in this house, what I need you to do is to find a solution. So you know what she did? She found the solution. And
hold on, Fatty.
Even if you're an average person, if she don't find a solution, y'all stay in the house that y'all can afford.
No. The solution is for us is I could do bad all by myself.
Yes. What was
That is
what you won't do. What you won't do, the next nigga will. Those is the solutions we hear around here.
What was the solution?
Man, is what I'm trying to
So
get.
realistically, y'all sitting up here saying that she will break up with you, basically, if y'all don't get the bigger
Absolutely.
No, that's not what my mama do. Hold on, don't fall into that trap, Fatty. Hold on, Fatty, don't fall into that trap.
I didn't hear the end of the question.
No, because she's trying to single it to she'll leave you if you don't get the bigger house. No, we're saying she will leave you if you don't provide her with the lifestyle that she wants. It don't have to be a house. Right. At some point, there are things that women expect from their man when they're not this whole conversation started because Primetime asked the question about how women change in relationships. And what I mentioned was that change usually comes
with the ring. Hold on, I got you. The podcast every month, I pull out, me and my wife sit down and I say, this is the money coming in. This is the money coming out. Hold on. I don't believe women have unrealistic expectations if they understand how much money coming in. A woman ain't gonna say that. Hold on, listen. A woman's not gonna say, I expect you to spend $5,000 when you only have $3,000 coming in. I don't think women do that.
That's fine. That's not the point. Hold on, we responding to what Callie Bev asked, and this is what it says. You're a man, you're supposed to know how to do this. You're a man. Thanks. Like that's what men do. Like men's like you're a man. That is what you hear women say all the time. You do not hear women come on here and say, "Oh, I solve problems all the time. If something's not working here, I bring the solution to my man, and then we can put it into action." You ain't hearing them say, "And the man still turned me down even after I show him that we can make XXX on the net revenue." And they don't do that. They tell you a real man would have figured it out because my grandpa did it. They don't bring solutions. They think you as a man are supposed to have them.
You're supposed to add to them.
Yeah, what was the solution, either man? Because I couldn't hear.
Because you wasn't paying attention, Fatty. But let me do it again. All right. So she had two options. Either we stay in the house that we're currently in, or we find a solution to make up the difference between the new house that she wanted.
Yes. That was not what is the solution? What is the solution?
She found something that made sense.
Elaborate on that. What was the solution?
She brought it to him. He looked at the numbers and said, "You know what? This is a real good idea. We can make it happen now." That's exactly
basically the solution is I still pay for the upgrade of the house. She just came in with the house that I like. What was the solution? What was the plan?
Let's ask the question: who paid for the upgrade? You or her?
You're not missing the point. Okay.
It is not about the point. He's just trying to understand who paid for the upgrade.
She wanted a bigger house, right? So there was a discrepancy on numbers.
Her solution paid for the upgrade. Her solution, the idea that she brought up paid for the
what
upgrade.
Was that idea? That's the point. What was the solution?
The new
home found a way where more revenue can be generated to compensate for the larger home.
I understand.
It wasn't either man going in there running to the bank.
Aaron, she found a way of bringing more revenue. Either man, what was that way? Elaborate, please.
I tried to say that, but Aaron knows the story. That's why he stopped me. What she found was a house that had a mother-in-law suite on it, and that mother-in-law suite she turned to an Airbnb. She managed it completely. She found a way to be able to not only make that money the difference, she's making 3-4 times as much money as it would have happened. So
okay, one second. Who financed that? You or her?
We financed it. We're married.
Well, no.
Can't be mad at that. I know what you're thinking, Fatty. I know what you're thinking, Fatty, but we can't be mad at that.
Who
financed that Airbnb? Either man.
What's your point?
I financed
it. He did it. He did it. He financed it. What's the point?
So this is my point. Is simple. Yeah. This leadership shit is the biggest motherfucking lie that ever actually existed. These women are waiting for a fucking workhorse on the corner of the street, And as soon as they see one more horse that actually is going to the direction that they want, they will put that shit on the back of that horse and they will ride it until the sunset, until they actually get a new one.
That's fair.
but
What if the guy's already a workhorse though? He been it. That's who
but Aaron, that's the thing. Because again,
That's what
I understand what's going on here. Either man, like all these panels that either man is like let me brag about my life without actually being very specific about bragging about my life. So every time something happens, the man says, not on my relationship. My house runs like this. My business runs like that. My wife is like this. And we say, the man, stop talking about your life. Stop talking about your life. Stop talking about your life. But in reality, if the man is the workhorse that every single one of us is too. If the wife wants a bigger house, he knows he has to comply. Because if he doesn't, either she leaves, resentment builds. You are not actually going to be functioning on a perfect, on an optimized way. So he knows for a fact, if he doesn't feel that empty hole that is on her belly, more trips, more cars, more houses, more, he's going to have the same destination and everybody else, poor, rich, or indifferent.
Let me ask you a question.
So everything's supposed to stay the same as it was when y'all first got married. Is that what you're saying?
That's what
everything's supposed to stay the same.
Yeah, supposed to stay the same for 20 years.
But hold on, let me hold on.
Wait, hold on, Aaron. Can I ask you a question since you're about to go? What sense does it make to purchase a house if you're not gonna live in it? What's the logic behind purchasing a house if you're not gonna actually live in it for 20, 30 years? What's the point?
I'll answer your question.
Y'all mad about growing up. I don't understand that.
Do you know anybody that rents?
Yes.
Do they pay their bills on time?
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons you should. You can find people who don't want to sleep outside to pay you money to stay in your dwelling, basically.
Okay, but where you gonna live at?
You said what?
So you're gonna live in an apartment while they live in your house?
No, man.
No. Okay. I think you did hear. Okay, what he's saying is that I'm
asking you a specific question. Why should I go buy a house if I'm not gonna live in it and raise my family in it? What's the point? If 5 years from now this house ain't gonna be good.
You missed the story.
I'm not talking about a story.
He's not talking about that.
He's raised everything off the board.
Let me tell you why. I can tell you why you buy the house.
Okay,
because
go ahead.
I did the exact same thing, and I'm gonna get anecdotal again. I did the exact same thing, and we sold that house and made a $200,000 profit.
But why do you say we if you finance that shit?
Because we are one unit. What's this idea of?
Okay, wait. Hold on, Fatty, before we had an argument. Okay, so what I'm saying is this. So you shouldn't buy a house to just keep and raise your family in and let that house get passed down for generations and generations. I guess that's just the old outdated idea, right?
So do you understand equity?
That's a yes or no question.
You should do that too. That's an option. That's one.
Okay, so then you can't tell me somehow I'm whatever Cali Bev was trying to suggest. If I buy this house and we stay in it for the rest of our lives, what's wrong with that? That's the point of us buying a damn house. What happened to that idea? All of a sudden, that ain't good enough. Thank you, Cali Bear, for proving our point.
And why is not good enough? More
all the time. I gotta buy another house and another house and another house and another house.
Wait, women aren't sitting up here asking for people to buy multiple houses. I don't. What are you talking about?
That's a good question. There's context probably missing. I think Fatty and Beans are like, why did she want a bigger house? And maybe Edie Man didn't say, well, she wanted a bigger house because she needed more space for this. We're planning to have more kids in the time. She was pregnant. No, I'm saying there was never context.
Aaron. My reasoning was the wording. Like I think it was a Freudian sleep.
I hear
he wanted the bigger house.
I get it, but
you see what I'm saying?
I get it. The problem is, it's either man. She look. You got to understand. He can say he said no plenty of times, and she just had to deal with it. He's just not going to necessarily get into it. But you have to understand this. She brought a businessman a business deal. She played to his ego, and she knew who he was, and said, "I know my man like business. I'm gonna bring something to him that I know he can't deny because he already denied me earlier."
No, that's actually totally fair.
Like people know what type of shows to bring to you, what type of shows to bring.
There's nothing wrong. No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like the analogy that we talk about it that actually a security boss helped me build. Every man thinks they are driving the car. The problem is they're a chauffeur, like they are a chauffeur, and there's a lady on the back telling go left, go right, go left, go right. So what happens is you think you are actually driving, and your lady's on the back seat playing the Ferrero Rocher lady. Oh, and tell you, hey, go this, go there, go there.
So okay, wait, hang on.
One second. So my final question is: if you are financing her dreams, and she's an asset. Actually, she's helping you out and all that, right? But she's telling you the direction of the donkey. Hey, donkey, go left, and you are the one actually walking. Who is the leader on that relationship?
We're being a little dishonest here.
No, you are protecting the man.
No, I'm not. I know because hold on. I'm speaking to podcast anecdotal experience. He said the women in my family killing the boys is tripping. They stuck at home. They not grinding. They not doing what the women are doing. It's fair to say there are tons of men that have literally drove women off the cliff. And drug was horrible leaders, horrible decision makers, and women have literally suffered for that. So, so that means they're willing to lead and fall off a cliff for some people.
And no, Aaron, that's great. I'm not saying that the man wife is a bad wife. Actually, she sounds like an asset. She's actually helping, actually steering the direction of where they want to go, and she brings assets to the table. The thing is, on the worst possibility, she's a bad director of direction from the driver. At best, she's a very good one, and she knows exactly what she wants to be, while the man in front thinks she's leading, but he's not leading. So my point was, men have to actually understand this, and I think men that are aware about this know the relationship will go as far as the woman wants it to go. End of the story. They are the default leaders, because we know for an absolute fact, just because you are financing shit, just because you actually putting the food on the table and all that, you know for a fact that she's the one pulling the strings. Like you said, she wanted a better house. That's probably the biggest decision of your life.
But let me respond. I got
so you mad? So y'all mad because she had an idea?
Why are we personalizing it to E though?
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like y'all just mad because she had an idea. Y'all don't want y'all wives to have ideas. Okay.
I want my wife to pay.
Y'all keep me in there because I don't got nothing to do.
MC Heavy Cheese says this right here. Y'all trying hard to not trying to understand each other. Y'all funny. Let me say this because I'll let y'all go. Listen, this is men ego speaking, right? If your wife come to you and give you an idea that's going to better your family, you are crazy to say, "Oh, since it's her idea, I'm not going to take it because it didn't come from my brain." Like that, it sounds so bad.
I didn't say that.
I'll let you talk for a minute. Let me land.
I apologize, sir.
So what I'm saying is your wife's supposed to be your biggest asset. Her job, she know that I'm running business. I didn't have time to run an Airbnb. I didn't have time to do none of those things. But what she did is said, hey, I want our family to grow, and these are solutions. I could have shot it down. But Erin is 100% right. She played to my ego. She understood that I help people in business, and why would I not help my wife when we sleep together every night? Like, that idea is completely crazy, and y'all are speaking from y'all ego, and y'all not speaking for y'all.
Okay, Anton Daniels from AntonDaniels.com. Your wife is your biggest asset. We get it, right? But again, it's not your biggest asset. She is the the queen of dragons. She's the one that tells dragon, go left, go right. And you are the motherfucking dragon.
Fatty, look, hold on. Let me say this. I'm tired of y'all.
She had an idea that you didn't think
burning the village just
because you
y'all missing the point, bro.
No, that's what it is. She had an idea that you didn't come up with, and you mad because you might actually like it. You might actually like it, so you mad because you didn't think of it first.
1 second, Callie. All right, I want to get TJ in because I want to be able to hear all perspectives of the people.
Did you read the super chat?
Yes. He was gone.
So I think we're missing the point. It's not a problem of him getting a new house and none of that. Remember, we started this conversation basically saying that when you get married, women increase their expectations and want more and more and more. So that's the issue. It's not a problem that you got the house at all. We just saying, like, it comes with expectations. That's the point.
No, I'm okay with her having
it needs to be about him.
Wait, hang
Listen,
on. So what is more again? More is like remodeling the house.
Nah, it just depends on whatever
Nah,
the shawty decide more is. She might want more
you like
Birkin
bigger
bags. She
house,
gonna try to finesse
let
you
me
to
better
tell
get
you
more
car.
why.
But
Birkin
if she
bags.
ain't never had Birkin bags, what are we talking about?
This might not be a real
Why it's an
really
expectation.
applicable thing, because if we really look back, we know people that's lived in the same house for 30, 40 years. Right? Like I don't know if we're using real life examples just because we want to try to prove our points. Women stay in things all the time without upgrading. The question is, has something occurred to make her feel the need that she needs to upgrade? Have we had another child? Is the child no longer a baby and they need more room? Like, it's everything the same. You work the same job. She worked the same job. It's like, then she just say, let's do more. I don't know. I don't
But
see
Aaron,
that common.
That's not,
we're
but that's what I'm
feeding
saying.
off of.
Go ahead.
But
TJ,
this is
expose
why
them.
we did.
TJ,
Hold up, Fetty.
expose them.
This is why we wasn't trying to lean into either man's situation, because now we're
Facts.
basing
I'm
the
not
whole
talking about
convo
either
off
man.
of his situation. That's why we were saying, like, we're talking about the general population.
Gotta
so
keep
Everybody.
listen.
saying that over
Yeah,
and over
that's
and
So
over
the
and
TJ,
over and
general
over.
population. Is
but
that people
TJ,
grow into bigger homes because their
It's not
family
about the
grows,
home, Callie.
or you
but
don't. It's
TJ,
not.
listen.
Right. That's
Jesus
exactly
Christ.
the point. Thank
Let
you,
me tell
TJ. Shout out to
TJ about one
And that
TJ
thing.
for
is with
staying
or
on
without
track.
marriage as well.
Let me tell you why
My
TJ
So
man.
has
she's
such
supposed.
a bad
Okay,
point.
so y'all
Hold on.
supposed to drive around
So,
and dodge
so
Neos.
TJ,
Got it.
the reason it's such a bad point, because if you got a girlfriend in a 2-bedroom apartment and y'all have 3 kids, her expectation is gonna be to get a big apartment.
No, that's
Like
for
the
both
That's
more,
not
of
a
you.
problem.
See what
Though.
I'm
That's not the
saying?
point.
no,
That's
Now,
not
see,
the
Aaron,
that's
no,
point.
now you
not
gotta
a
call that
problem.
out. Now you
I
gotta call that
would,
out.
That's
but you're
disingenuous.
already yelling.
I'm
Go
saying
ahead,
though, but this
Aaron.
is what I'm saying. When
Expose him.
people, you gotta
Hold
call
him
it out when
No,
accountable, Aaron.
everybody being
Hold him
disingenuous.
accountable.
He
Listen,
keep
listen.
using these false
but
equivalencies
Can
to
listen.
I give
make
you
this
another
Hold
example?
point.
on.
I'm in
Hold on.
agreement with y'all here.
Either man, can
Calm
I give a
down.
different example?
No, no, hold
Give
on.
a different
Hey,
example. What the hell are y'all talking about?
hold on. Let me explain it, TJ. So
Hmm.
TJ, we added 2 kids to our family. So her expectations to get a bigger house made sense. I get it. I get that y'all say, oh, she should just be happy with the house she got. Because according to podcast, 2 people get together and those 2 people are just married with no kids. You know, they get 4, 5 kids. It's okay. They supposed to stay in that house because that's
How
supposed to be
many
their
rooms
house
did
forever.
the house
Hold
have?
on, wait, fatty, because
Okay,
How
I
many
just want
rooms
you
did
to
the
know
old
I'm
house
about to
have?
do
I
the
get
same
it.
thing to you,
Five.
Edie Man. Just so you
I
know, I'm
hope
about to do
so.
the same thing
I
too.
hope so. That's why I got you up here so
How
you
many
can do the
rooms did
same
the old
thing.
house have? Well, either man.
So,
How many rooms?
so,
The old
so
house had.
this
No,
this
Fatty, come on,
explanation.
stop taking him off track,
I know
bro.
it was a big house.
I
But
know.
Go
Let
I'm
him
ahead.
go. Let him go.
stop
Let him
taking him
go.
off track. He keep trying. Don't
He's
make it
stuck on his
personal.
house
Go
stuff.
ahead,
Take it with
Get out
podcast.
of
grace.
it.
Go ahead.
It's
his old house had
unnecessary to
5
do all of
bedrooms.
these
With a pool.
characterizations,
Go ahead.
bruh.
Let E go,
I haven't
man.
said, I didn't say what you just said. We didn't even get that deep into it. And TJ
Go ahead,
just told you
podcast.
that. We were all way over here on Primetime's question, which is how women change in relationships. And somehow it became the Either Man show. That's what
But
I'm saying. Like we was trying to take it off of you.
it
Nobody knew how many kids
That
you
dude is
had.
funny.
Nobody knew how many
matters.
bedrooms you had. Nobody knew none of that. So how could I make a suggestion about what a person's supposed to do with 2, 3 kids in an apartment? That shit never happened. Brother, I don't give a fuck about your situation, Edith, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm
I
trying to
do.
have a generalized conversation. The point was, Edith, man, you said you was gonna let me land. The
You're right. Go
point
ahead.
was to prime time's question is how people change, right? So when we gave an example
Specifically
of
with the
how,
ring.
but okay, cool. But when we
Yeah.
gave an example of how women change, right? The original point that Fatty made was that it happens regardless to the ring, right? In long-term relationships, when people live together, shit changes, right? But
Yeah.
the original point that one of the examples that we used was you brought up, oh, my wife might need a bigger house. Right? So that was just an example. There's no reason for us to die on that shit. I don't give a fuck what the retarded ass chat is talking about either. The point is that we weren't talking about a house. It was just an example used to describe how women are insatiable.
And you know what's
And
funny,
that they
podcast?
have
Okay, so what's
they paint
another
a picture
example then?
of what they want their mind to be. It don't matter. That's the point. So that we
It
don't have to
doesn't
argue
matter.
about the exact. No, it don't. Because
Oh, so people.
here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring up an example. You know what you're gonna say? So all women, we're gonna bring up another example. So
We
you
haven't
saying
made
all women? It's like, no. We know that nothing applies to all women, but we're just saying in general that
Generally.
when women have an idea of what they want, prime time, When a woman has an idea of what she wants her life to look like, and there is a man in her life, there is an expectation of that man, whatever that goddamn expectation is. And
You have
if
to
he
fulfill the
isn't
checklist.
fulfilling it on time,
It's some
in real
problems.
time when she wants it, she will begin to change in the relationship.
And it
That
gets
is just
worse.
a fact. There's
And
no way
it gets
around it.
and it gets worse. She will trick you into thinking that her checklist is actually your checklist. She's going to shop around, see if your checklist matches her checklist, and she's going to say, "Oh my God, baby, we really want this nice house," and you think it's your idea, but in fact it's her checklist. Let me just say one thing real quick, right? This is actually what the government wants. They will push women to go to work. They will push women to be independent. They will let them get in debt. They'll get all the money from them. And you know how they get money from men? Marry that bitch. Marry her. And
have
now
kids
she's
with 'em.
pushing you to. She's getting the taxes. That new house, that property tax is looking very juicy. The man, not personalizing. And that's how actually the world is setting right now. They will push women to be single and make bad decisions, and then they will say, "Now get a donkey, and then the donkey in this wallet, and push him to go to the place that I want, so I can get even more money from him." And now everybody loses and I win. This is what's happening right now.
I got you. Let it. I got you.
Only
So
the
men don't buy
naive.
houses too.
No, only
Hold
no,
on, let him land it. Please let him land it. Let him land
only
it.
DJ, you hear this shit?
only the naive people think that the naive men think that they actually, for most part, are doing the rules of the relationship. The woman on their checklist is the one that actually is going to dictate if you have a long relationship or not. As long as you keep putting those checks on the checklist, everything will be okay. Stop doing that. 1 second, man. Stop doing that for 3 years. Stop actually filling your checklist and see what happens to your relationship and to your marriage. Just try it.
Wait, man, let me ask you something. Do you see people in your neighborhood who still have the same cars? Like where I live at, I see old white men that still got that same Lexus ES300 from 1998. Look like it just came off the showroom floor.
A car is a bad example, and I can tell you why quickly. Women cannot afford to be in a car that have brake light issues, any type of issues, because there's a fear that their car will break down in an environment that is unsafe. So they're going to want something that is extremely reliable, and that's actually reasonable for a woman. A man, we ain't care. So, like, you have to understand.
No, but that's not the point, Aaron. The point is this: am I looking at this guy? Am I looking at this guy like he's a piece of shit because he's still driving his '98 ES3, or am I looking like, man, he took care of that thing? That thing looking good.
The woman don't, listen, the woman don't get mad if E keep the same car for 20 years. She want a car that she ain't got to worry about the brake light come on because I don't know how to fix that. I want to make sure I get from point A to point B. Like, they don't want problems with their vehicles. That's
so you have a brake light problem, you buy a new car?
Well, I'm giving an arbitrary example. It ain't just a brake light. It could be a bunch of other things that after a while the car needs work, and they're like, man, I might need to get it. That's kind of how long.
But that's what I'm saying, Aaron. Oh, in real life, I don't know. Now this may be anecdotal to me. I'm going to acknowledge it. I don't think it is, but it may be, bro. Most women I know don't really take care of their cars like that.
They don't,
right? Until they get the Camaros and all that other stuff, then they probably try to prioritize taking care of them. But they don't take care of their cars like that. We actually still on topic. Watch this, man, because the point that we're making is that it's always got to be something new. That's the point that we making is that you don't want to take care of the thing that you have.
No,
you want to just
Give him on Benz.
What if it's a new Kia?
Give him a Chevy 2017.
Stop the cat. Y'all act like women have no idea how to take care of their car. I had a car from 2000 to 2015.
Nobody asked you your personal
all
opinion.
leather interior. But I'm saying what the fuck I'm saying, and what you gonna do about it?
Most women don't even know how to check the oil.
And my car had 308,000
But they'll
miles.
take it to the
and the shit
dealership to
wound up
get the
still
oil
running.
change.
What kind of car was it?
All you gotta do
No, we off
is
topic.
change
Just
the
eat a
timing
man
belt
show. I don't want no problem.
every 100,000 miles. That's it. That's it.
Damn.
Listen, we're not gonna yell at each other like this, man. Let's have a decent conversation. Like, we don't want that, not tonight. So we're gonna bring everybody up, but let's not yell at each other, all right?
Who was yelling?
Leave E-Man alone.
Who was
One
yelling?
second.
Don't worry about it, fatty.
That's why I know I'm finna quit my new job.
That's why
Nobody
you
was
should quit
yelling.
it. I think you should quit it. You know they
I
about
am.
to do those. They about to do those. Make sure the requalifications. You don't want to get
There
kicked off.
y'all
Hey,
go.
the man, since you're leading
So
your show,
let's
can I
stop
Let me,
I've
acting
been thinking about
like
quitting my
let me
job
let's
so
stop
much
No,
acting
no,
two
like
no.
time.
super
women have
chats.
no ability to take
Two.
care of
Let
their
me just read
cars. Like
the
stop
super
that
chats
shit.
real quick. Thank you very much. SB says master relationships before marriage.
oh Lord,
I
Let's
feel
be the
that.
goat.
I mean,
I
okay,
feel that.
I can get with that. I don't know if I'm a master. Now I'm joking. Shout out to Grizz. Grizz says
I did.
nobody brought up women fighting men's abilities to have higher expectations. You like head more often for doubling your income. Misogynist. You want her outfit to look a certain way, divorce and lose half. I get
exactly.
that. I get that. There's not
That's
a
crazy.
respectable
Nah,
level
just head
for
doing
him
football
to
games.
raise his expectations. I agree with that. I'm him says Google chef in the bull dizzle.
Oh Lord.
So
That's right.
Hold on, hold on,
Absolutely.
hold on,
no,
hold on,
no,
hold
no,
on.
we're
One
not going
second,
to
This
fight.
everybody,
Google
No, we
chat,
everybody,
are
hold
going
on,
this
to
Google
fight.
chat
everybody,
The
is
man, let me
making
ask you a
everybody.
question. The man, let
$80,000
me ask
a
you a
Hold
year.
on,
question.
just
The
It
man.
one
is what it is,
second.
kid.
Hold
It
on,
is what
just
it
one
is,
second.
kid.
Rob,
You
Rob,
make
give me a second.
$80,000 a year from Google. I'll wait.
Hold on, I got it. Wait 1 second. What we want to do is make sure that we don't go too far off what we're talking
No, we are not. That's why I'm
Oh, your
going to
teeth
ask
and
you, the man, right?
younger.
I want to put the ground rule of what we're talking about, especially for the people in the chat, Ray, that just got here. We're talking about if we was to write a letter to Generation Alpha. Generation Alpha is the next generation from 2009 to 2024, right? What would we tell them? Would we tell them to get married? Would we tell them to trace the bag? And this is the content of what I was saying. The point that me and Prime, I got you. Give me a second. The point that I was telling Prime Time is if a woman have more expectations, she need to be able to come up with solutions to meet her expectations. That's the point that I was making earlier, and I made that point. We're just gonna say that.
Yeah,
So
but
Were you?
your
Was
point
that your point?
is your
that
point is
was
a
my point.
massive no, your point is a massive fallacy because she is getting solutions with your money, which actually implies that you have to have something for her to build upon and her to have ideas. I am broke as a joke. If a woman has 10 of ideas, I don't have no money. So like, you can have you can be Jeff Bezos, you can
So
have the new Microsoft. Your situation actually implies that the man already has the funds to actually put her ideas because the average man doesn't have money to rent an Airbnb to call. No, that is
I mean,
not
y'all
the
can put it
average.
together though.
That is
Yeah.
not the, no. Yeah, but TJ, most
I
of these
mean,
women
is
like
she not
That
working
wasn't
too?
me.
That was
Like, what
prime
the
we,
time.
hell?
we,
That was
we,
prime
What
no
we
time.
cap,
talking about?
no
one
cap.
That was me.
She
That
just
was
put
me. That was
credit
me.
on his
Hold on.
name.
Main character,
without
bro.
due respect, these women are getting married with negative $1,000 because they are in debt either by college. They are not saying, hey Aaron, I'm 30, I have $78,000. Let's get married. They are broke as a joke like everybody else. They are not spending their money.
That's cool, and that's why they
Kelly, I
should up.
thought
Hold
some men
on,
not
Rob
broke.
B. Hold on, no, wait 1 second, Rob B. First, we want you to comment on the subject, and then we're gonna dive in
Oh,
detail.
that was what I was going to say, the man.
Hold on, but she's new. She's new, so we need to
He's
get her
old.
stand. We want to get her stance on it, right? So, do you believe that we should be telling Generation Alpha to get married? Let's see, because she might agree with y'all. Let's go there first. Rob B.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I'm not telling women to marry none of the men in no future generations or this
Hold
generation
it
either.
accountably, the man.
Perfect.
She's
So,
going
are
extinct.
Daddy, suck somebody's pussy. Do that.
Now I'm just joking. I apologize. Okay, I will
let's
stop provoking you.
all right,
You're not
so
provoking me. You just
Rocky,
making yourself look like a fool. Continue
hold
with
on,
the
wait.
man.
So you said that they should not get married, right? So
No.
let me ask you a second question then. I like what you said there because you might have put yourself in the hole. So when you say that they should get married, do you think that they should stop reproducing?
Absolutely. Don't have
All right.
sex with nobody. Don't reproduce. Don't get married. Everybody just die. I want humanity to die. If this
What
is
the?
the epitome
I
of
got
Okay.
humanity, everybody just drink a glass of
All
bleach.
right.
She went
Go on
dark.
ahead.
Hold on. No. This is the question that I can really say if Rob B is being transparent and true. Do you believe, because this is what we got caught on, do you believe that a girlfriend and a wife give the exact same advice.
Nah, fuck that. I don't think no women should be giving no advice to nobody. Everybody should drink a cup of bleach. Everybody should stay by
With
themselves.
the man order.
Everybody should get a rose. I
Order
know
in
the
your
fuck I'm
court.
talking. I know the fuck you ain't talking
Jesus.
while
He
I'm
just saying
talking.
some
My
stupid
God,
shit.
today, is you a man or a bitch? Hold your mule.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
I
We had
know,
a dope conversation for 3 hours.
I know
With the man, you're
that the
not going
way
to do
today's
nothing?
All
economy
right,
and
so
society is set up.
Rob, we're talking. Hold on, no,
I mean, if
we're
that is going to
we're
interrupt me,
talking.
I'm going to yell.
We don't need no yelling tonight. Promise you. Tune in tomorrow at Fight Club. Y'all can come over there and yell for 3 hours straight.
I'm not
Oh,
tuning
thanks,
in to
Ethan,
yell
man.
about
I love you,
nothing.
bro.
I mean, Fatty said he wasn't going to be toxic Monday
No,
through
but
Thursday.
No,
It's
no, 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 no,
Thursday.
no.
no,
No,
listen,
he's,
I
no, no,
forgot it's Friday in Portugal. He's confused because this is
I know.
America, bitch.
Listen. No personal
with the
stuff.
man, you're not going to drop her for calling me bitch?
That's not
Like to
what
drop
we
me?
want. We don't want. I dropped everybody. Don't be that way.
Okay, so I
But
can
listen,
call Kelly best
hold
bitch
on,
and
hold
not
on,
stay
hold
on the panel and you
on,
don't
hold on.
correct me?
Listen.
No, I'm actually
You're
Okay.
not
asking
gonna
you.
drop her because you called
You
me a
are going
bitch.
to.
Oh my
Kelly
God, you're
Bev,
not
you
gonna drop her
stupid.
because you fucking need to leave.
No,
Because
it
I'm
was
asking
a
you about the
disrespect.
third. You're not gonna drop her
No,
because
it
you want
wasn't
her
a
to get to
disrespect.
leave. Oh my God, I thought he did. Like I take it back, pussy.
Hey, we supposed to be adults.
What happened?
We supposed to be able to have conversations, right? And what happened is
It's
so
still Thursday reality.
first of all, I completely disagree with Rob P. Like this idea that she feel that we should go in a corner, drink bleach, and die is completely outrageous. Especially since we have kids, Rob, that doesn't even make sense for the next generation to give them that type of advice.
Why you
But
call
I
her
get
raw?
it.
Call her,
Advice that y'all
why you
give
call her raw?
makes sense for
Call
the
her
next
bitch. Why you call
generation.
her raw?
Are
Call
you
her bitch.
serious? Are
Chill,
you
fatty
serious? Do
son.
you think that
Yeah,
the
call her
advice
raw.
that any
Hey,
of
the
y'all
man. Why you call
give
her raw?
is
Call her
really a
bitch. Call her
valuable,
hoe. Call her
stable, or
prostitute.
statement
Call her
to the
all her
next
names.
motherfucking?
Well, thank you guys for coming tonight. This was a good show.
No, what a
I
coward.
really,
You are a coward.
truthfully, and honestly was hoping that I had a conversation. And then what we realized is that Aaron, you just connected to Fight Club. That's my conclusion to this is that when they see Aaron's face, they say, you know what? This is Fight Club, and I'm going to perform the way that Fight Club does. But I do hope that I actually started the conversation. What do you think about tonight's conversation? I just listen. I ain't been feeling the good. That's why I've been drinking Powerade. I just ain't got the energy tonight, Aaron.
Who gonna take the first sip? Shout out to Tio. I think you get a good understanding of what it's like running these shows. You got the biggest personalities in our space giving you that energy, and you're gonna have to learn how to manage it. Now, look, it is what it is. I'll be asleep. I wasn't even gonna be back in YouTube with one for you. I'm gonna be asleep. So I mean, I have fun. I think it's a nice dynamic. I like to open up shows talking a little bit about economics and business and things like that. So that's fun. That's a connecting point for us. And then we get into the shenanigans. But it is what it is. I mean, look, that you know what it is. I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? I'm gonna just tell you what the truth is. They want their King of Fight Club. I'm gonna be honest with you. Fatty not playing. Every show he get, I want it. And Raw be like, you ain't about to get it without a fight. So I'm just be honest, they let you know like that. I think once we get through that stage and we elect the king, things will get a little bit more civil. But other than that, I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, I'll just say this in closing thoughts, because I think this was a dope show. And I think we had such good content. I didn't want to kind of overdo the thing that we had. So, but first thing I'm saying is I would have tried to manage it if we was at an hour and 20 minutes, but at 3 hours, there's no reason to try to do it. But what I do want to say is what I would tell the next generation is it is hope. I think a lot of you guys are painting a picture that is doom and gloom, and that's not what I believe. I believe that they can fix the mistakes that we did in the generations before. They just need to have us to be able to guide them the right way. And I get if Aaron said that he don't want to take that on, but I think it's men like me of this generation will take it on to be able to give them advice. And we have
no. I'm willing to take it on, but I don't owe nobody nothing.
I got you.
I do it out the kindness of my heart that ain't there. Okay.
But you know what I did prove? that married women and single women are different. Regardless if you try to say it's a good thing or a bad thing, what I love about the guys on the panel, they said it's different, but it's bad. Okay, now we know that it's a difference. So I don't want to hear this argument that it's just a ring, it's just a piece of paper, because y'all out of your own mouth says that it's different, and now we got that on tape. So that's all I got, Aaron.
I mean, fair enough. I think I can dispute that, but I'm not disputing it on the Eat Man show. Nope, not gonna do it today, but it will be a battle in the future. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. Shout out to the sponsors of the show, Gore, Grizz. We appreciate y'all. Never mind. Grizz said I'm sneaking that sponsorship in from Gore. That is a foul, dirty play right there. But it is a victorious steal. So shout out to Grizz. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. I don't know. But I think these Thursdays are getting starting to get exactly what people want. They're starting to anticipate them a little bit. We're starting to craft them really well. So we're gonna see. We're gonna do what we do. We're gonna do what we do. Shout out to the sponsor, Grizz. All right. But yeah, we good. And I actually get to read some. I got to read some articles anyway, so they give me some time to catch up on those articles. So life is good. A win's a win.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, and we will see you next Thursday.